Okay, what up, ladies and gents? It is a lovely, lovely Monday, and I believe it is time for me to do my usual. So, let's get started. Alright, as always, the evening streams are usually discussions, polls, things like that. And it's been a pretty interesting weekend, that's for sure. It has been a very interesting weekend, especially with the recent changes to TFD. So today we'll host a poll a little bit later where we're going to talk about things and, see how things are going. I'm very interested to see what the numbers are going to look like since we seem to be reaching, so to speak, all new lows on the game, but there also appear to be higher heights. So, let's see how people are feeling and what's the real story on the streets. Okay, are people satisfied with the buffs and nerfs? They're unsatisfied? Let's find out. Let's have an unbiased discussion. Now, as always, these polls conducted without any judgment. Have your say. Now, it would be greatly appreciated if you explain your say once you've had it, but, we'll talk about that in a second. So, okay, good. Tweeted and done. Now I'll open up Caster Labs and also start up TikTok. So we often do. Okay, that's live. Everything is all live and going well. Close a couple of background programs that nobody cares about. Okay, looks like we are ready to go. Yes, daylight savings apparently. Okay, start poll, and the poll will say I'm trying to work on the last option, but I want to talk about disconnection issues. Okay. Okay, there we go. Poll now has 4 options. Okay, I want to see where everybody is standing on this. Please have your honest say. There's no need to go one way or the other or lean one way or the other. Just have your honest say and it's completely fine. There we go. Good, good, good. Hello, Lord Rain. Oh, my neck. Still got a stiff neck, but I'm surviving. Okay, I'm gonna go get my power bank, and then we'll carry on. Okay, gonna go grab my power bank, and then I'll check in with the polls. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. Let me first go and get my crystallization catalyst out of the oven. Now we'll go continue leveling up the Ajax. We indeed going dark. We indeed. Like a Nintendo Wii. At least I've got enough biogel. Yeah. Oh, thank God ETA 0 is still here. I almost forgot to do one very important thing, and I knew I would have forgotten. But, oh, thank God he's still here. Alright, alright. I knew I forgot something this morning. You know, I'm really glad that they extended the so-called ETA 0 timer. It's really nice of them to do that. Okay. Congratulations, Lord Rain. Well done. Very well done. I'll tell you, Rena, you're living life, man. Keep living. Gotta make life fun, you know?
This is Hound Actual.
Sounds fine, Brian.
Void storm is intensifying. Conditions are unfavorable. Proceed with caution. Over.
Well, they are going to nerf Serena, and we all know that already. I hope not.
Let's go.
But again, it comes down to whether or not this results in positive data for the game. But for me, personally, it's just going to be a never-ending cycle. That's what I feel.
Get ready. Shield. Take this. Stop. Out of my way. Now. Damn it. Stop. No chance.
Yeah, it was just, Leaf, it was just a small hotfix to try and fix disconnections.
Get ready.
Well, JT, unfortunately, they released their Descendants overpowered, or so they said, so they are gonna nerf Serena. Just so you know.
Charge.
And no, you need firearm attack always, Lord Rain. I've already explained what roles to have on the Ancient Knight. You can change one of the free options, but the roles that I state you must have on your weapon. Choice is yours at the end of the day, but I suggest retaking a look at the Ancient Knight video that I put out.
You're next. Out of
Going good, Swag. Can't really complain. And they do not need more, in my personal opinion, they do not need more additions to their cosmetic store, because I think that players are actually spending less right now. And as you can see,
Descendant,
player base is pretty divided. It's about half. Hello, April. How's it going? I hope you're doing good today, April. So player base is actually divided right down the middle, which is very interesting. Right now, it's slightly skewed toward the buffs, which is good. So I'm very happy to see that. But people playing less because of the nerfs as well, understandable. You know, a lot of people are worried about their time investment not being respected. And that is something I think, you know, has to be mentioned. Because once you don't respect players' time, they leave.
Let's go.
Well, that's also understandable, Cobra, but I would say that that's an entirely negative perspective. I mean, at the end of the day, to play the game, you're going to have to invest in characters. Whether the character gets nerfed or not, if you have a full roster, then it doesn't matter who gets nerfed. Somebody will rise to the top, somebody will stay at the bottom. And if everybody's at the bottom, then nobody will be having fun with the game and people will quit. So it's a simple cycle. For me right now, I'm just relaxed because I know that, look, while some rise up, some stay at the bottom. That's how every video game is. There's no need for me to panic or worry, you know? So that, per se, is why I am relaxing and just, you know, not worrying too much about it. Because there's no need for me to worry.
Charge.
Drowspat, there's a video that explains the jump after the grappling hook. Everybody should know this movement technique. Alright, are you new to my channel? Because I've taught everybody this over the past few months. Alright, so anyone who doesn't know it is probably new to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then one thing which you'll learn very quickly is that you need to learn both from the YouTube videos and the YouTube shorts. So if you want to know how to use the grappling technique, it quite literally says learn this movement trick. Everybody needs to know about it. So I'm going to share it with you right now. Okay, take this with you and enjoy. But in future, please study both the videos and the shorts. Wouldn't know, Wayne. I haven't played him yet. I may check him out at a later time, but currently he is not on my list of things that I want to work on. After Ajax, it's actually going to be Ezimo next, so I'm going to give him a try and see how that goes. Welcome to the stream, Neil. Forgive me, but I do not recognize or know you, but you're welcome here.
Transport is en route to stand
When
by
people tell me it's a long time,
Best of luck,
I'll be
Descendant.
quite frank with you, I don't remember most of them.
This is HQ.
So forgive me for that, but unless you are a very frequent person, I'm not going to remember you. Just want to be honest about that.
Let's go. Get ready.
Well, I would say that you shouldn't be worrying about any over-nerfing because, look, you're going to have to invest in everything at some point anyway.
Let's go.
I understand when it seems like your resources are finite and limited that you might have more concerns about such things, but I'll just say don't worry about it. Enjoy it early now because you don't know when the nerf is going to be. If the nerf is not for another 2-3 months, because again, we don't know when it's happening, if it's not for another 2-3 months, then everything will be fine. But quite frankly, I don't think, on a personal level at least, the devs are going to want to do this again anytime soon. I think they should really take their time to think. Okay? Because if they don't think about this carefully, and they just go balls in and do it, here's what's going to happen. Okay? They're going to get review bombed again.
Let's go.
it's not like TFD was doing great before, because people already had many complaints about this game. Fair complaints, FYI. Not unfair complaints where they're just, you know, busting the devs' balls or something. No. These are all fair and legitimate complaints, and people have had them for ages. But they have overflowed with the nerf to NS. Now, you can call them crybabies and whatnot, that's completely fine, I understand. And many people did indeed overreact. As I've shown, NS is completely capable of being the fastest farmer in the game. You know, irrespective of whatever else, you know, people want to throw at her or whatnot. She still has the capabilities to be one of the fastest farmers in the game. So, from my perspective, you know, yes, some people really did overreact to that. However, what we must understand and what we must be clear about is the simple understanding that Ines here, okay, is just the first wave. You know, if it happens again and it's bad, then people are just gonna straight up quit. Also, Neil, if you mentioned that you're from that game, I'm simply going to throw you out of the stream, quite frankly. Never ever mention that game here, alright? That game is literally related to some of the worst racists on the planet, as well as the most racist community ever. So never ever mention that game here, and if it's been that long since you've watched me, pretend that you're a new viewer, because quite frankly, I don't know anybody from that time, and I don't want to know anybody from that time, okay? Take note of that. No, I do not have a video on that, Lord Rain, because it's unnecessary. Just know that nobody in their right mind would ever use Colossus damage, because what it is it's just additional damage tacked on top. It doesn't benefit any of your other so-called damage types. So it's literally just additional damage at the end that's just sort of added on. So unfortunately, it does not have a good value or a good impact. I hope that's clear. While it can be multiplied, yes, in general, because it only affects Colossi, it is of less value than straight up firearm attack. So just be aware of that. This is something known to pretty much everyone already, so there's no need for a deeper analysis. But if you want to do your own analysis, you can. However, I will tell you it's a waste of time. Give it a try. I would say if you don't straight up trust me, or you know, you're unsure and you have some of your own doubts, then I highly encourage you to test it yourself and learn for yourself, because there is nothing better than learning and discovering on your own, especially if you are curious. Do the test yourself, spend the resources yourself, and then do the testing. Then you can come and report back to me with the results, all right? And it will also give you a higher level of confidence. That way in future, if I ever say or do anything, you already know what to do. Andre, I am so sorry, but dude, that is a complete lie. Ines is not stronger due to arcade tuning, man. Ines with arcade tuning before was way stronger. Look, even if you want to say that the buffs are a good thing and the nerf is not a bad thing, you cannot make a false statement like that, Andre. If you do so, I'm sorry, but I will throw you out for spreading misinformation, okay? We're here to have a pleasant discussion, but a pleasant discussion means sticking to facts. If you want to spread misinformation after very clearly her powers were drastically reduced, all right, her skill multipliers were drastically reduced and her damage was almost halved, okay, that's not fair to anybody. So please do not ever try and say something like that, or I will throw you out of here.
Extraction from operation zone initiated.
Okay?
Good work.
While I understand that, you know, we don't want everybody to act like the nerf was the worst thing in the world, you know, please don't ever try and do the opposite thing and say, oh, I think she was stronger. Like, dude, if you ever say that, I will just throw you out. Because this is a place of facts, okay? Facts are the only thing that have a place here. There's nothing here other than facts. And when you look at the facts, what happened? She lost half her damage, as well as being clunkier to play. That's a fact, not an opinion, okay? I look forward to it, Lord Rain. I look forward to it, Lord Rain. You should be able to come to the same conclusion that I do. Her 2 was indeed buffed, Eric. But the fact is, she does lower damage overall. Because the 2 also had cooldown increased. Just so you know. overall her damage is so much lower that she can no longer comfortably do stage 27. That is also a fact. Alright?
This is HQ.
We did all the testing
Troops
before
are on the
coming to our
ground.
conclusions.
Transport is en route to standby position. Best of luck,
I
Descendants.
appreciate that, Neil. Like I said, do what's correct for you and never ever mention that game. You don't want to ever be associated with the racist company.
They need to be
It's a very
recharged.
bad idea. Foxarella, how are you doing?
Stop.
And that's completely understandable. Are you still having connection issues, Foxarella? Because if you are, I think you should go straight to the devs and showcase, maybe even if you take a little video on your phone. I think we need to show the devs that, hey, there's some serious connection issues. There's problems. And well, you can see Ajax for yourself. He's playing in the high-risk Sigma sector right now. I'll give you guys a more in-depth explanation on Jax at a later time, but so far so good. He's not horrible. I'll say that much. He is far from horrible. He does what he's supposed to do, does a fairly decent job of it.
Back away.
Well, exactly, Matt. That is exactly the problem. DC'd every 30 minutes on Xbox. That sounds pretty bad, Neil. Definitely let the devs know. Hopefully they can address this issue for you guys very soon, because I understand how frustrating it is to literally have a situation where you cannot play what you want to play.
Descendant, we've confirmed a large-scale Vulcan transfer.
Well, I have been considering some of the other characters, that's for sure. But we'll see.
Charge.
At this current moment, I'm going to focus on Ajax. Kyle, bring a little extra love to some of these characters. Because why not?
You're next. Get ready.
Keelan is definitely one of the interesting ones, that's for sure. He does a relatively good job for what he's supposed to do, and I think he's an interesting pick right now.
Shield.
Not sure why you're typing an exclamation mark in S, Hendrik. Are you okay, sir? That is not a command on my stream. Either way, only certain peoples can use commands on my stream. Well, I too am glad that the male descendants are getting some love, but that being said, I need to see it translate to real profits and real numbers. So if I'm not seeing the profits, then we're gonna have a problem. And I don't want to be like that one fake YouTuber that only posts whenever there's an update, and then he buys all of his views, so that despite the fact that nobody even cares about him or his stream, you know, he'll still have thousands of viewers on Twitch and a few thousand views on his video. Dude's the world's worst human being, I tell you. Can't stand him, but you know, he is what he is. I guess games need a guy like that.
You're next.
Somebody has to contrast with my lovely, lovely charm. Actually, it's Ezimo. Well, Keelan, actually, but after Keelan, then yes, Ezimo. I'm actually gonna work on Valby as well, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that.
Recharge.
I'm always interested in seeing things, you know? I like to see through the dragon's eyes.
Loading.
I'm still waiting on my 500 for Jaber, you know? Just waiting on that. But yeah, so far, I would say that Ajax is decent. He's not the best, but he's alright. He's an alright donut.
Want me? You like this? Charge.
Well, Taboo, pick whichever way you feel. You feel that these changes were good, then pick the positive option. You feel these changes were bad, pick the negative option. Even if you're still playing. That is how I would do this. And thank you for your insight regardless.
Hound Field actual to HQ. Mission complete.
Galen's interesting. I've showcased him a couple of times, but yeah. Well, Serena is currently the top character in the game, and she is due nerfs in accordance with what the director has already said, so she is going to be nerfed. But we don't know whether they're going to go as hard as they did on NS or harder. So I hope that would not be the case, but again, it's a wait and see kind of situation. I can tell you nothing right now. We'll just have to wait. I have no special internal insights. Okay, I'm not one of those people that pays to get in the club, all right? But of course, if the devs ever want a proper person to assess changes, they've got my number, they can pay me my hourly rate, and I'll happily do it for them. But if not, then I'm just going to carry on doing what I do, that is being the most truthful. Okay, TFD creator.
Descendant, confirm arrival at the operation zone. Proceed with caution.
Descendant, we've confirmed a large-scale Vulgus transfer. Attack their deployment point.
I've been told something about hydro pressure bomb or something like that, but we'll see. I'm a relaxed sort of man. I am more than willing to check out different things. Well, they're apparently having a live stream in about 3 days, Foxy, so you can go in there and ask them about the Flustercluck. No more disconnects for you, Snake Eyes? Well, that's good. Foxy, eventually when you get on, let me know if you're still disconnecting even after the patch. If you still are, then, of course, definitely, please record a video, send it to devs. Because I think this is a really widespread issue. Well, Goku, no. Because I'll tell you why. If a Descendant is OP at launch and then they nerf it down later, you know what that's going to do? People are going to stop buying because their investment is not being respected. Second of all, people will call that bait and switch. In fact, they already are. That's one of the biggest things in the negative reviews, and that's no good for any game. No game should be accused of bait and switch tactics because I'm pretty sure that's not their intention. If it is their intention, then that's very, very sad. Hopefully, they get a clue. Because if I ever discover that they are genuinely participating in bait and switch tactics, I'll be the first one to call their asses out.
We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then
I will hit them harder than J. Jonah Jameson at the Daily Bugle, alright? You say that, Matt, but what if they nerf him in the next patch? Oh, Jaber is overperforming in our data. So, you know, he had a use rate of 1%. This is too high. I can't believe that there were actually 10 users that would bother using Jaber. So now he's been nerfed. So due to his overperformance, in that he was actually allowed to run 10 missions this week, okay, this is strict overperformance, we are going to nerf Jaber into the ground. Alright, so let's hope that that's not the case, shall we? Oh, the Descendants that are baseline are the safest to invest into, but that'll be Sharon, the Viessa, Valby, but I don't want to invest in Viessa because she's kind of garbo. Not gonna lie, okay? She is not great. However, she can be great with the right tactics. I feel that with the right persuasion, Viessa can be very, very persuasive.
Charge.
That's completely fine, T-Deuce. You can vote whichever way the patch had impact on you. If it was positive or negative, then vote in the options accordingly. You can choose the positive option or the negative option. Hello, Leroy. How's it going? Well, hopefully they will not do something like that to poor old Jaber, but yes, there's always potential issues with any particular character.
Charge. Shields are down. They need to be recharged. You're next.
Oh, listen, of course less people buy new Descendants if they're underpowered or mid. But You see, the thing is, right, once you get accused of bait and switch, especially considering their parent company is
You're
Nexon,
next.
nobody recognizes the fact that Magnum Studios is the devs. All they see is Big Daddy Nexon backing them.
Shields are down.
And that's the problem. That's the problem, good sir. Because everybody doesn't look at them as a company. Everybody just sees Big Daddy Nexon. And when they see Big Daddy Nexon, what do you think happens? People have no confidence in the company simply because of Nexon's poor reputation. This is not good for the devs, nor do they want it on their plate. So they themselves have to think very, very carefully here.
Stopping their attack.
Alright? Hey, Lewis, how's it going?
Stop.
The latest Ines build is on my channel. It literally says updated Ines build, Mr. Hendrick. I'm pretty sure you can find it. It was posted a few days ago. So could you please go to the video section on my channel and just have a look? Because it's right there. You're welcome.
Mission complete. All
Of
units
course,
proceed to
T-Deuce.
transport
That's what we're here to
location.
do. We're not
Great work
speedrunners
out
and
there.
we've got no interest in leaderboards, okay? If people have interest in leaderboards, they can go consult YouTubers or creators that deal specifically with that. We're here to make sure everybody has a decent enough time and nothing more than that. Okay? We're just here to ensure everybody has a good time. That's good enough for me. Well, Cobra, first of all, there are several other characters that can do that, FYI. So I don't think that's going to be the issue. But we don't know how hard the Serena nerf is going to be. And look, I understand that you feel very negatively about this, Cobra, but you're kind of a super negative kind of guy. And that's not really the vibe we want here. When I say open discussion, you are allowed to share your opinion if it's negative or positive,
Hound action
but
to all
when you're just
personnel.
constantly negative,
Void
dude,
storm
that's
is
not the right way to live.
intensifying. Conditions
Why are you so
are
negative?
unfavorable.
Let me ask you that question.
Proceed with caution.
Why are you
Over.
here if you're feeling so negative about the game? Why not just quit? Why are you still here watching the content, making the comments? Because all I hear from you, good sir, is negativity. Is that really how you want to live your life, sir? Let me ask you that question. I might make emotional and mostly dark music, but hell, even I have happy moments in my life. Why are you this way?
Let's go.
Let me just genuinely ask you that question, because it makes no sense, dude.
Back away.
Like, really, if you're that unhappy, you do realize that there are a lot of other games out there that you can pick up and play. Just saying.
Stop. Damn it. Let's go.
It's called Robot being a sensible kind of guy.
You're next.
I'm a very sensible person. I don't waste my time, so I never understand why people want to waste time. If I felt negatively about something, like genuinely negatively about something, I'd just leave. Like, you know, can you imagine? You hate something, and that hatred festers inside of you. Like, do you really want to live your life that way? No. If it were me and I'm upset, I'd just say, look, I'm just going to take a break for a couple of days. You know, if things improve, then that's good. But to be in a space just to be negative, like, are you okay? Genuinely, are you okay? Think of it that way.
RK receptor, confirming signs of life.
And also, Mr. Going Dark, never ever ask me to chill, okay? Or I'll throw you out first. I'm always chill.
Shields are down.
If you don't know the difference between me being very chill and me being actually angry, then yeah, you might want to get to know me a little bit better. Because trust me, none of you have actually seen me when I'm actually pissed off. Do you know that half the time that I'm dealing with almost everything that I have to go through, I am literally just relaxed. Okay? It makes me wonder, how do you guys cope with just the average person out there in the workforce? Because I can tell you, if you were to ever work for an accounting firm, your bosses are going to be way worse than I am. I'm literally just chilling. So, might want to think about that. Well, you can call it one way, but people will only see it as bait and switch, Goku. Pretty words don't change what people feel. Just saying.
Large-scale Vulgus transfer confirmed. Descendant, stop the enemy troop deployment.
I prefer the words straightforward.
Get ready. Damn it.
Or they've never been in the military either, Austin. Because I can tell you that my drill sergeant would probably have all their asses completely.
You're next. No chance. Get ready.
That's fair to say, Unknown. Look, and you're welcome to share your opinion.
You're
You know,
next.
hopefully, the majority of people feel that way.
Get ready. Take this. Stop.
Well, fair enough. Going dark. In that case, like I said, don't you dare ever ask me to chill. Because like I said, what you're seeing is the chill. Okay? You want to see me pissed off, you can try that, alright? It actually takes a lot for me to get pissed off.
Shields
But
are offline.
a lot of people mistake what I would consider in my, like, and this is just me, what I would consider a gentle scolding for being angry or pissed off. I'm like, yo, you haven't seen pissed off, alright? You want to see pissed off, I can show y'all, but nah. I think you mean Glay and Serena, but yes, roughly.
Let's go.
I would just use Serena at this current point, save yourself the trouble. Build up Serena, go through with Serena, she's easy peasy. That's what I would recommend currently until she gets nerfed. Then when she gets nerfed, then you'll have to readjust. But that's why I'm not readjusting right now. I'm just going to take advantage of Serena for as long as she works.
Damn it. Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
Oh my.
Mission complete.
I found Blair absolute trash.
See you soon.
Like, genuinely. I found him absolutely garbage. Because he is too slow. His casting animations are very long. Even if you max out his cooldown, I believe his fourth skill is on 120 seconds. The maximum cooldown reduction you can get is 90%, which means that he's still got 12 seconds. That's way too long. The slowest cooldown in the game with maxed out CDR should be at most 6 seconds. I believe that firmly they should reduce Blair's cooldown to 60 seconds. Ines, for her fourth, should also be at 60 seconds, in my personal opinion. Yes, you do, Foxy. I want to hear what you think of my latest songs. Okay? Give me your honest feedback in the Discord. If you don't want to share it here. I always appreciate the honest feedback from the Foxarella. How's the Blair flamethrower? What Blair flamethrower? You
This
talking
is
about his
HQ.
skill? Or are you
Troops
trying
are
to
on the
say
ground.
something else?
Transport is en route to standby position. Best of luck, Descendants.
This is HQ. Enemy reinforcements incoming. Requesting strike on staging area.
Well, that is slightly racial, Wayne, so you might want to refrain from bringing up race. Not because I care, but because YouTube cares, so please be careful about that. That being said, yes, I agree with your statement.
Be recharged.
Trust me, most of the time that I'm talking, this is actually normal. This is actually legit normal for me. That's how it is. Also, sorry, I missed a message from a 3D artist a little earlier. I need to scroll back up and check. Playing Valby, leveling arcade tuning. I see. I hope the disconnects get resolved for you, buddy. Sorry that you're still going through that. Hopefully the devs answer. Martin, good to see you, my friend. How's it going? Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, John. I hope the quality of it was okay. I had to do a lot of scrubbing on this particular track. I don't know why the quality came out a little bit rougher than some of the other songs, but I hope my editing was good enough to make it decent at least. So for what it's worth, I apologize for the scrubbing not being up to snuff. I did my best on it, spent an hour working on that scrubbing. It was annoying. Listen, Unknown, whatever the case is, he is a far slower farmer than
Descendant. The transport is
literally
on the
any other
wide
character.
range
He's actually
taking
slower than
charge of the
Ajax.
ground.
So the fact that he's
We
slower
needed
than
to purify
Ajax,
the void
Unknown,
energy.
is terrible.
Prime the detonator
I
with
feel
an
that
arcade and
every
hit the
descendant should
detonation
be
device.
set around a margin. So for example, let's say Bunny is the speedrunner standard, right? So Bunny is around 2 minutes 20. Then you should have characters that are slightly faster, like Keelan. So they'll be around 240, 250. That's completely fine, right? Then after that, you have your standard farming characters that would be around maybe 3 minutes, 320. Ajax is around there, which is hilarious, to say the least. Then you've got Blair that's at like 5 minutes. That's horrendous, you know? Well, thanks, John. Like I said, for me, it was a nightmare to scrub, but I'm just glad I did it because it's a good song. I wanted to bring it to you guys, but editing it was a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. I was going insane trying to edit that thing because I was like, why does this sound so horrendous every time I scrubbed it? Finally, I got a good scrub, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna post this one. Jonathan runs ultra marathons, this fella. He's a crazy fella, but he's our crazy fella. But anyway, I feel that right now the disconnects are a big deal and a lot of people are suffering because of it. However, based on the polls, it looks like 60% of people are feeling positively towards these changes. I really hope that it translates to player numbers. You know? That'll be good. I want to see that happen. And I'd be very grateful if it does. More profits is good.
Let's go.
Instantly deletes bosses. Yes, yes, to an extent. He really can with arcade tuning and everything like that. He can do a lot of damage. Not gonna lie.
Let's go. Take this.
But genuinely, he just felt too slow. So I'm gonna give him another go after the ultimate's released, because I just don't believe in what I'm seeing. Genuinely. Now I'll leave you guys to check out the dev stream on my behalf. All right.
Get ready.
I'll leave you guys to check out the dev stream on my behalf so that you guys can tell me if his Transcendent modules are going to be any good. But I do hope that they will properly buff him so that his farming speed will be good. Because he doesn't deserve his current situation. You know, he's a good boy.
Let's go.
When is Voltia coming to Desolate? Next season, I already said, my friend. Are you new to my streams? If you are, then welcome to the best and only place to get accurate information. You will not get it anywhere else. That being said, yes. Next season is when Desolate will have Voltia. So I've told people that, and I will give you the same answer right now.
Hound actual to HQ. Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
And you're kind of right, Cascadia. I do believe that his mechanics will need a drastic change. At the very least, I feel like his whole slow casting animation for a fireball that's not altogether big, you know, I'll be real with you about that. His fireball ain't that big. Okay, and that's not throwing some shade toward Blair. I mean, I'm certain that my fireball is bigger than his, but at the end of the day, his fireball ain't that big, and it's a problem. Because we're talking Blair here. We're talking Mr. Fireball Cookman. And his fireball is teeny tiny. Alright? It should be no less than an absolute spirit bomb, blasting the entire area to hell and back. Alright? I want to see Daredevil looking at the destruction and being like, damn, this is hotter than Hell's Kitchen. Alright? But unfortunately, that's not the case. That's not what I'm seeing. So, I am drastically disappointed. But it is very good from this poll. You know, we've had 138 votes, 139 votes now in the polls so far. It's been 39 minutes, and we've got 57% of people saying that they're playing more because of the buffs. That's really, really good. Only 27% are actually playing less because of the nerf. Unfortunately, 5% have quit. But thank you guys for still watching my show. And 11% are having connection issues, which is throwing a dampener on this whole situation.
This is HQ.
Yes, you get Mastery XP for the first time that you level a weapon, a Descendant, Fellow, or do a mission. Basically, the first time you do anything, y'all will get Mastery XP. See you later, Cobra the Dawn. Enjoy yourself.
Shield. Charge. No chance. Charge! Back away! Let's go. Yeah. Charge. Back away. Reload.
This is Ajax. Mr. Ichigaki.
RK life signs detected inside a Vulgus structure.
You're next.
Well, Prince, you can wait until my build video is out and then follow my build video. That is what I would say. So if you're unsure how to build, then you gotta constantly tune into streams and watch my build videos. They will be on YouTube when they're ready. But that's the best that I can give you.
Charge. No chance. Shield
We are currently in the process of testing and working through
Let's
things,
go.
so I hope you can understand why we're not revealing too much right now.
Charge.
Content must be protected. Even though I don't hide it on stream, I still want to protect my content. So either don't miss a second of stream, or wait for my
This is
video to come out.
HQ. Enemy reinforcements incoming.
Let's go.
Requesting strike on staging area.
You're next. Let's go.
Also, take note that damage numbers will vary based on the activity that you are engaging in. Some activities
Shield.
will have certain enemy resistances. This all changes and transforms how your character performs.
Out. Back away. You're next.
The range on my Ajax is maximized, just like on every other skill-based Descendant. Always maximize your range in accordance with, you know, your perks, all that kind of stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna have a rough time.
Charge.
Captain Elias, deploying RK. I am the original.
Watch out.
Either way, Ajax, I'll be quite real with you, he doesn't actually have a gun build. Like, you can use guns with him, but he doesn't have a gun build because he has got no way of enhancing his guns. Theoretically, you can by using his forward skill, but it's a minor boost compared to several other Descendants out there, so I really wouldn't bother.
Shield.
Well, if you feel that way, Shark.
Charge. Let's go. Damage.
Oh my.
Operation completed.
Glad to hear that you liked
Awaiting
it,
transfer to
Foxarella.
transport position.
Thank you for
Well
enjoying
done,
my
Descendant.
work. Always a pleasure to have people enjoy my music. There's one thing I have to say though that I always find funny. I always notice people will ask for information, but when said information comes at the price of staying, watching, all that kind of stuff, they dip straight away. They just want everything now, fast, don't they?
This is
But
HQ.
quite frankly,
Troops
they
are on
haven't
the
paid their
ground.
price.
Transport is en route to standby
Thank you for
position.
giving me credit,
Best of
you
luck,
fear
Descendant.
Jake. I can't wait to update Keelan's build as well. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Charge.
But yes, thank you for, you know,
Let's go.
actually giving me credit. You'll be surprised how many people will say, oh, I've got this build, then you find out that they've just taken my build. Maybe they've changed one mod, but they've taken my build and that's about it. They don't give me credit. It's very, very sad to see. And especially when they hang out in my chat, you know that's where they got their build. You know, they're like, oh, but it's mud.
Back away.
So thank you for giving me credit. Appreciate it.
You're next.
Now don't forget to tune into my music if you guys haven't already heard it. Alright, don't forget it releases early on SoundCloud or YouTube. You can go to either location. Alright, thank you very much.
Get ready.
Now the link for the latest song is incorrect, but it doesn't matter. It'll still take you to my music. I might actually fix that link after this. Thinking about it now.
Oh. Let's go.
Well, we shall see. At the very least, I will do up Ajax for you guys.
No chance.
No promises on the rest.
Stop. Get ready. Damn. Back away.
RK receptor, confirming signs of life.
Charge. Shield drop line. Take this. Get ready.
Well, quite frankly, Piesker, every other character can also do that, so I feel, on a personal level, that was unfairly targeted. They could have just reduced her damage if they wanted to, but instead they chose to target that particular aspect of her. I'm not quite sure why. And people can come up with any sort of justification, but I will still say that, in my personal opinion at least, that I think was too unfair.
You're next.
Because they could have just reduced her damage even further if they wanted to. And I think people would still have been okay with that. But, you know, that's how it is. Well, 3D artists, definitely let me know after you've tested that. Well, CJ Mister, of course, you know that my work is always good. And of course, I already mentioned in my video that the Ines nerf was not that severe damage-wise. She's still one of the fastest farmers in the game, but she will be a bit clunkier to use, just you have to work around it. Like I said, no matter what, I still think the terrain nerf was too harsh. I feel that should never have happened, but it is what it is, and, you know, we adapt, as we should.
Charge. Let's go.
I think that reducing her crit hit and damage would have just made her lacking in what made her special in the first place. Too much of a reduction is also not good. At the end of the day, look, here's the thing. As much as I understand how some characters and some people were frustrated with her, you start taking away people's favorite toys, do you know what happens? You end up like Helldivers. What happened to Helldivers is a miracle story where they finally managed to recover, but that's also because that's literally one of the only good games on PlayStation. Sorry to say. That was one of the only good, like, ongoing games for PlayStation. So I have to be real with you. Helldivers lucked out with their whole No Man's Sky redemption. Even then, they still got a whole bunch of problems. All right, so they're not going scot-free. But I don't think Nexon has that same kind of goodwill going for them. Helldivers started out with more than 400,000 people. We didn't start out with those numbers. What we're starting from is a baseline of 10,000 because most people gave up on this game as Gunnar Warframe. So I hope Nexon knows what they're doing because, yeah, nerfs are never popular.
Operation completed.
I understand that adjustments
Awaiting
must be
transfer to
made, but
transport
I
position.
think that nerfs, no matter
Well done,
where they
Descendant.
are and, you know, what game we put them in, they will cause people to table flip. They constantly nerfed everything in Helldivers, and look where it got them. They just dug deeper and deeper into a hole. If that happens here, they don't have the same kind of player-based numbers. Helldivers went from 100,000 all the way down to like 40,000 at the time that I left, and it dipped even further with the constant nerfs. This game is starting on 10,000. What's gonna happen if they get all the nerfs then? Then what are we gonna end up with? The 2,000 people who were like, yeah, now it's like Dark Souls, man. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be here if we got to those numbers. So long as my profits keep going up, I'll stay. Touch my profits, or I stop seeing profits, well, you guys understand.
This is Hound Actual, reporting extreme concentrations of
That I
building
can agree
energy
with,
within
PSGR.
operation zone.
I feel that Valby as a
All units,
baseline,
please
along with
proceed to your
Yesa, these are not
discretion.
baselines.
Do not
The
exceed your
baseline
limits.
for mobbing should be Bunny.
Large-scale
Bunny is the
voltage
fastest
transfer
farmer
confirmed.
and mobber in the game.
Descendant,
Good.
stop the enemy
She
troop
should be the
deployment.
highest tier, right? Then everybody should be adjusted around Bunny. You know, based on how good they are supposed to be at farming. Comparable characters should be about maybe as fast or 20 seconds slower. That's how I feel. Adjustments should be made. You adjust to Valby and Viesa, what the hell? Who even wants to play Valby and Viesa? That being said, I do still want to experiment with Valby and see if I can make her faster. I think I can, to an extent. Well, Aubriel, first go and get Ultimate Bunny in accordance with my build. After that, you can farm any other character. You can play Ines. Even after the nerfs, she's still pretty good. There's also Freyna. So Freyna is good as well. There's no close combat in this game. Every single character is long range. Oh, listen, William. I don't doubt that balance was needed. But that being said, once you go down the nerf path, as I mentioned before, it doesn't matter how much we say balance was needed, balance was needed. People don't feel that way. People don't feel that way, and they will never feel that way. What has happened is that people got their favorite toy taken away, and they're going to be upset. And they will stay upset for a very long time. That's the danger. Once you've done something, you cannot just undo it. Alright? Even tattoos are easier to erase than the collective hive mind memory of a bitter player base. Because there are still players who will remember forever that they left Helldivers because of the nerfs. FYI, they buffed most of the stuff back. However, they constantly have bugs with their patches, so I do understand why people are still not going back. I'm not going back either, for content reasons. But, you know, people don't forget. So is mine, William. Doesn't mean that the situation isn't what it is. My Ines, as I've proven as the best Ines build out there, and the only one that people should be following anyway, is still 100% strong. Faster than Bunny. But, does that mean that there is no problem? No. There is still a problem. And that's what people need to understand. There will always still be a problem. No matter how you slice it, there will always be a problem. Because people don't forget. This is something that I can tell you as somebody that has worked on content for, oh, I don't know, more than 12 different games. Even right now, Helldivers generally hovers around 50,000, less than Warframe. So think about that. Now, they do go up, of course, when there's a big patch, but you got to think about long-term consequences. Every action has consequences, especially when you're looking at a PvE situation. If it's not a PvP, people lose a lot of justification for balance. Unfortunately. Eric, that's because those builds are building specifically for a particular activity. So why are you looking at those builds? Unless you want them for that specific activity. As per my video, I use fire. So if you're asking that question because you've been shopping around for builds instead of just following what I do, then, well, there's your answer. It's because you're looking at a build that is very clearly designed for one particular activity. Toxic would obviously be for Tormentor, and Chill would obviously be for the Void Erosion Purge. Does that make sense to you? And this is why I don't do my builds in that way. Because the very second I do that, what happens is that people are forced to remake their weapon over and over and over again, and it's not fair to anybody. My builds are designed for everybody to enjoy. That's why they are the most efficient and most optimized. Because I won't ever sell you a lemon. Not really into that. Had a used car salesman once sold me a lemon. Wasn't a very good experience, so I try not to do that to my audience. If you've got the core, then by all means. But do you really want to do that anyway?
Stop.
I mean, it's your choice.
Damn.
But in that case, why waste the cores? You could just build a second Ancient Knight. Which, considering how often we have to do arcade tuning, is perfectly viable. You could build a second Ancient Knight. However, don't forget that your Ancient Knights will become useless once they nerf Serena. So, if you're going to invest, you're better off investing in the last dagger. However, considering the situation, what if they then nerf the last dagger? Do you see why nerfs are a problem? Because it's the question of what if. Although he was negative about it earlier, Cobra Dawn did bring an interesting
Operation
point across.
completed. Awaiting transfer to
What if?
transport position.
You built
Well
two,
done, Descendant.
but what if Serena gets nerfed and it's no longer useful? Either way, I hope you've learned a lesson, Eric. You should not be shopping around for builds. Either trust the robot or don't. Your choice. But I would recommend against wasting your time. Again, your choice at the end of the day. But, hey, that's up to you. And also, I'll be real with you, not everybody's going to want to build 2 copies of every weapon, Austin. I myself feel no reason to do it because it's a painful waste of time. Do you know how easy it is to build a second weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds? Oh, literally just go to the forge and just put in the RTN parts and there you go. Here you have to farm, core it up and all that kind of crap. Why? Well, did you watch the video about it, Unknown? Because if you're asking that question, it already tells me you didn't watch my video because the exact question's answer
Confirm
was
arrival at
explained
the
in the
operations
video.
zone. Proceed with
So,
caution.
might I suggest you watch the video? Because your very question is answered in there, just like all others. I will not give anyone a shortcut here. There are no passes. Here's the video. Please go watch it. Everyone loves the Malevolent with Serena. I mean, I built it on my Serena build as well, as per my video. So it's a good weapon, that's for sure.
Let's go.
Well, PSGR, people say that, but I like to remind them that it was the same people, the same crybabies, who got the whole Nerf thing going. And I'm sorry, let's not pretend it wasn't the same people. It was the exact same people, the same crybabies, who also cannot handle mechanics. Do you know why that there were posts on Reddit saying, make it make sense? Because people are saying they want mechanics, they want a challenge. But the last time they introduced mechanics, Molten Fortress, Frostwalker, these were all mechanic-based enemies. Players couldn't handle it. They wouldn't even work together for 5 seconds to get a mechanic going. So you tell me, how exactly can we create mechanics, things like that, to increase difficulty rather than bullet sponge enemies, when, in the end, as soon as we introduce that difficulty, nobody wants to play? They introduced something with a challenge. What happened on the first day of Void Erosion Purge? It was intended to be something that you're supposed to overcome with a team, right? You're supposed to get to the end 3 stages, group up, and then start whacking stuff. Okay, fair enough. But no, it was too difficult.
Let's go.
And that is the be-all and end-all. Then they had to water it down, water it down, water it down, water it down, until it has reached its current state. This is kind of the issue. When content comes out that introduces challenge, yes, it was a bullet sponge challenge, but still, it was a challenge. People don't rise to the occasion. They immediately cry instead and say they're quitting the game. They threaten quits, just like they've done before, and then in the same breath, those very same people that, you know, will lament the fact that the game has no direction, those very same people will post the most overpowered builds and suggest that there is a problem here. The devs literally have to give us those overpowered builds because players will not build up and rise to the challenge. Those kinds of quality of life changes I can agree with though, but it is how it is. Hopefully they change their duplicate weapon system, or rather they make good on their promises that we can change cores on weapons without having to re-roll the whole damn thing. That'd be nice. And no problem, Obriel. I am here to help. And yes, Foxy, they should. I say 3 presets for every gun, let us roll what we want and keep those presets. That, I think, would be great. And hopefully they'll fix the crashes, Knife Show, because that's a major issue, I understand. They did a patch today that hopefully sorted some of the issues, but I've heard that some people are still having issues. Fingers crossed that they resolve that. Listen, I always welcome the challenge. Do you know how difficult it is to fight Mizitsune? Mizitsune in Monster Hunter Wilds can literally one-shot you. Like the first day that we fought Mizitsune, do you know how many times I died to the freaking water fox? And yet there's still people absolutely slaying it, which is good. That's how challenge works. You see a challenge, right? And you're supposed to rise up to it. That's how video games work. Well, Lawrence, pick whichever one you feel more strongly about. But anyway, people have stopped rising to challenges. People just, you know, say like, you know, it's enough. Nope, don't care. Just cry, 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 cry. So how exactly are we supposed to get challenges, mechanics, fun in the game when people don't want to learn? Can you imagine if this game had a cover mechanic like Gears of War? Imagine that for a second. Imagine being able to take cover, you know, where needed and actually like having that as a mechanic. Imagine having actual mechanics for your skills as well. Like, for example, somebody mentioned it earlier, but enemies should not be able to enter Ajax's barrier. They should be taking damage at the edge of his barrier, you know, or you know, shut out from it while taking damage. That would make him so much more of a tank and make him so viable. But yet, they don't put that in the game. There's no mechanics. It's almost like this game is a very simple, and I hate saying it, but it's almost like a simplistic waifu collection game, which I don't want it to be.
Extraction from operation zone initiated. Good work, Descendant.
You know what I mean, Dewey. I want a real cover mechanic. Like any Descendant can just hide behind cover, Gears of War style, peek out, start shooting. Like that was supposed to be, in my opinion, what a game like this should have. And even a looking for group system, I have to say this, PSGR, that will never solve the crybaby issues. Because most of those people are antisocial. They don't want to be offered a solution. They want to be mad. They want to stay bad. Haven't you noticed that there are dozens of solutions? When it came to mechanics in the past, did you know that there was a way to cheese Molten Fortress mechanics? It's called Glade with an infinite rocket launcher, and I've showed that multiple times. I don't like it, but you can cheese it that way. And I've shown it multiple times on stream. I'll say again, I've shown it multiple times on stream. What do you think people did? Do you think that they built Glade with a rocket launcher, vestigial organ, and went in there and started spamming the balls so that basically everybody could take their time with the mechanics? No, they didn't do that. You know what they did? They went and whined on Reddit. They don't care about solutions. They've never cared about solutions. And listen, Army of Two was the shit. I absolutely love that game. And yes, that kind of mechanic would be interesting. Like, there are so many mechanics they could introduce into this game. But they do not choose to do that. Because, again, it boils down to the fact that these people, the people who cry, the people who are upset, the people who will stay angry and mad, they don't want solutions. They have never wanted solutions. They just want to stay mad. Well, you see, you asked me, William, but it's all the same people who literally got Molten Fortress nerfed, who got Frostwalker nerfed. Ask them. I don't know where they are. I don't hang out with losers like that. But they're the same folks that have been in the game since day one, forcing the devs to make the game easier because they can't keep up. I will say it till I'm blue in the face, John. I agree. Groups need much better rewards. And when there aren't better rewards, that is no fun. Good luck, JB. You'll be able to clear it very easily if you use Serena, by the way. Well, too late for that. It already happened, Sento. Listen, Mr. Extreme GR, we're not crying at all. Now, you can feel that way, or if that is a troll bait comment, you're just going to be ignored. But what I am going to say is that we're not crying. I am having a debate with the people in my chat. If you can't handle that, then might I suggest you find Weenie Hut General? It's across the street. You might enjoy your time over there, sir. Especially since, you know, basically anything that goes against your inherently stupid beliefs would count as crying, right? Well, you see, PSGR96, you say this generation of gamers, we got one right there. His name is Extreme GR, you know? Guy probably needs this game to end up as Weenie Hut General, you know, Back for Blood, Weenie Hut style, you know? You never know. There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that. And, you know, this is who they are. This is what they do. Do I think the game will suffer when old gens get cut off? Eh. Yes and no. There might be some suffering, but honest to God, we can't really tell.
Would you like to access the laboratory?
I think to an extent that it will obviously cause a dip in player numbers to an extent on consoles, but people need to keep up with the latest hardware. If they're not, then they're better off playing old games and sticking to their retro gaming. Well, CJ, the whole thing, well, in that case, Extreme GR, I would suggest that you make your statements very clear, because if you address something to the stream without adding somebody, then you are addressing it to the streamer. So I will let you go this time, but don't ever do that again. I'm going to buy your excuse this time, but don't you dare ever do that again. You come to my chat, you don't troll. You can have a debate, you can have a speech, but either way, other people aren't crying either. We're all having a debate here. There's a difference between a debate and crying. Okay? I want you to be clear on that. If you cannot handle a polite, intelligent conversation, you do not deserve to be in my chat. That goes for everybody. All right? So keep that in mind. I don't want to have to throw anybody out, but I will not hesitate to do so. And I've done so before. All right? So don't tempt me. Be clear on that. And JB knows, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do for you, because performance going down happens pretty much with every single update. It will sort itself out after a couple of hotfixes, but that's how it goes, man. SBG, what up? I am just about to test some shenanigans, actually. We are about to do some testing. Just because I want to see some real changes. Okay. Now let's establish a baseline. Jump. Okay. Jump.
Let's go.
Jump.
You're next.
Huh, there seems to be some variation in damage. Not quite sure why. That's kind of hilarious. Well, I don't think it's anything buff related.
Let's go.
But okay, I'm just seeing some... Oh, because of the incoming damage. Ah, from the inversion reinforcer. So I'd have to measure completely without that. So without that, it's about 326. Yep, okay. Understood. Well, that's fine. I mean, a little bit of damage variation doesn't bother me. Okie dokie day. Now we try with this. I just wanted to see what kind of value I was getting out of it. Let's see.
Charge.
Whee! Oh, wow. The value is garbo. There is kind of a difference. I just prefer the jump 2 times because it's a lot easier to utilize. The other one doesn't really help him as much. I prefer the jumps. But I think that at the end of the day, it's genuinely a personal preference, what you decide to do. Okay, now let's take a look at some of these modules out here. Let's see if there's anything worth having. Okay, both of these are not useful for him. Okay. Can't put that with MP Collector, which is fine. Let's see how much value Dangerous Ambush brings.
Let's go.
Gotta wait until that buff goes off. Actually, you know what'll be faster? I'm just gonna reset this. Done. Easier. This way I don't have to put up with it. Okay, that's
Back
365.
away.
Oops, wrong one.
Get ready.
65. This is very consistent now. Whee! Okay, this is very consistent. Now let's remove that.
Let's go.
New super chat received.
317, okay. So 365 versus 317. Ah, thank you, Lewis, for your lovely super chat. I always appreciate that. Gotta make sure this man's in the list, is he? He is not in the list yet. I must add him to said list. Thank you, good sir. That was very candy. Well, we can always hope that it gets more storylines, Extreme GR, and like I said, I've forgiven you this time, just don't let it happen again, okay? Stick to facts and stick to polite debate conversations and we'll be fine. Okay. Do we have anything else that we can use? That'll be kind of cool. How much would Technique Manual do if, just for the sake of debate, I can also take this out to give myself a little extra space, but, well, we'll see. Technique Manual gives me more total damage.
Get ready.
Because the etc. damage is higher. And this is with this amount of hit points, so what if, just say for the sake of it, we brought my hit points up all the way. So we use HB Amp, something like that. Yeah, just deciding on my last mod. That brings me up to 416. Okay, so Technique Manual is no slouch. But only when it triggers, so it's only the first time it hits. Whereas Dangerous Ambush could hit for theoretically more. Assuming that you hit multiple times, of course. But then again, enemies would have to not be targeting you. No, we're not going to use the Slayer set here because it's unnecessary. It's already overkill. I'm just deciding what I want for my last slot. There's no need to run the Slayer set. You can if you want to, but it's kind of pointless. If you want to test it on your own time, then by all means go ahead, but you literally have no need for it here.
New subscriber detected.
Welcome, new subscriber. And the knife show, the recent buffs did nothing for Blair. He is still garbage. He is actually more garbage than Ajax when it comes to mobbing, so I have literally zero love for Blair in any way, shape, or form. I just want to say that. He really, genuinely, honest to God, serves no purpose. So, I really, really hope that they change him, because if they don't, then it's going to be a bad, bad decision. Their choice, of course, but I seriously think that they're going to need to change him. But we'll see. They have their dev live stream soon. Listen, PSGR, all those ideas are great. Get the devs to implement them. And Leo Board, I'm not here to talk about other games. So if that's what you're here to ask, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to have a conversation with you. Hope you don't mind. All right. Okay. Now, let me, for the sake of clarity here, let me see if I can swing this a little more interestingly. Ah, there it is. I have this. So I want to see how much extra damage we're dealing.
Get ready.
Now let me pair this together with this and see how that goes. Descendants. I don't deal in Descendant ranks, Dewey. I find ranking Descendants absolutely stupid. Why? Because it creates a vacuum of thought where people say, oh, but this Descendant is ranked D, therefore I'm not playing it, or whatever. No. I don't rank Descendants. The buffs were good overall, but there's no such thing as rankings in this game. The only thing I'll tell you is, did it improve kill times? Yes, for some of them. For example, Ajax is now a lot more viable than he was before. No. You should never test with Secret Garden, because Secret Garden is a conditional buff that only triggers on Void Walk. Never do your testing on conditional stuff. The second you test on conditional stuff, you are going to waste an immense amount of time. And I am not into wasting time, my friend.
You're next.
Still higher. Well, relatively, but technically Dangerous Ambush would be a bit higher. If you use the Sanctium does not benefit him as much as you would think. Which means it would be way better if we went with Technique Manual, Hit Point Mod, and there you go. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. It gives him plenty of survival and plenty of smackadapadoo. And since it's every 8 seconds, we can sort of run that for the big buff. So yeah, either way, like I said, Secret Garden would supersede the so-called Dangerous Ambush anyway, because what you're getting is skill power boost modifier, and the more that you add on, you're going to get what is effectively diminishing returns. So even if you tested with Secret Garden buff, you would actually just see less of an effect on Dangerous Ambush, than you would see on Technique Manual, which is based on hit points entirely. So do take note of that.
New super chat received.
Thank you, Extreme GR. Appreciate your super chat. And listen, I like the hard content too, Knife Show, but unfortunately, the problem is we got to stop the crybabies from crying about it. Until people start taking actual action to stop the crybabies from ruining things, things are going to keep getting ruined for you. Okay, think about it this way, right? Ines was considered oh so strong before, but did you know that before certain nerfs to enemies and nerfs to the the content, it actually required a lot of skill, even with hiding behind walls, to try and pass stage 26 with Ines. I only did it like barely by the seconds, and then of course I could still farm stage 27. But when people cry, the content gets made easier, then the Descendant is too overpowered, then they have to be brought down, and it creates this negative cycle. What we need to do is we need to stop people from, the ones we need to stop are the ones that start complaining about content being hard. You stop them, you'll get what you want. And can you use Ajax in the Void? You can use anyone in the Void vessel, but he's not as efficient as Bunny or Keelan. So anybody can be used anywhere. But if you ask me about efficiency, that's a whole different matter, Fredbo. So unless I use a character somewhere, I will tell you right now, it's probably your best bet not to use that character. The decision at the end of the day is yours. I cannot stop or change your mindset, but I will say that it is probably best that you adjust accordingly. Okay, actually, you know what? No, I'll just, since it's a free slot anyway, makes it easier to test. Shove this in here. And this should be good enough. I will need one more slot here, but that's completely fine. Okay. That'll do. That will do. Preseason difficulty. Some people say that, yeah, that's a good start, but I will tell you that what people remember about that is not the difficulty, but rather the grind, and they hated that. So now that they've reduced the grind, that's good. But in order for them to come back to preseason difficulty, then they're gonna need to make some serious sweeping changes. And once again, the crybabies are gonna riot. So the situation we have now is quite literally brought about by, as much as I hate saying it, a lack of gatekeeping. I don't like to gatekeep because I think it is the worst thing ever. But this is one of the situations where gatekeeping would have actually helped. Because we did not shut down these people. They had free reign. And the devs listened. Because the devs, they're trying their best. And I respect that about them. But they're trying their best in the wrong way. Not sure what you're trying to say, Shark. Your statement is very confusing. You might want to elaborate what you mean. Anyway, Unknown, what you got to understand is that most people here, and again, I hate making the expression, but quite frankly, although it was an insult from a different player, one person actually said this before, and I hate to agree with them. They said that most people playing this game are trying to play one-handed, and that's why they hate difficulty. Okay? I think you can understand the implication. Now, I'm required to run a clean stream, so we can't go there, so please don't discuss it, but what I will say is that I kind of agree with that statement. The problem is that there's so many people out there who are playing this game, yet they don't want to advance their skills. If this game wants to be taken seriously, then it needs to require serious skill. That's just how it is. You can actually stop them, Knife Show. Imagine if all of us continuously shouted them down in Reddit and the official Discord. Put them down completely and you'll be all good. Don't, and well. Well, yes, essentially, Shark, of course. That's why my videos and my streams exist. I show everybody how to do stuff and then they just go and do it. That's why I mentioned in my other video, anything else is a skill issue. But at the end of the day, people don't want to do it. Like Knife Show said, you know, the crybabies, they will just whine. They want it easy. They'll keep complaining. That is something you can never stop, change, or alter. Because it has to do with who they are as people. I don't know. You ask them, Extreme GR, because there's still talk about making skills viable and void erosion purge. Like, bro. Adding a new tier of difficulty, unfortunately, William, I don't think it's going to solve the problems. I really don't think so. Because what will happen is that you add the new tier of difficulty for the crybabies to, you know, cry in, or for us hardcores to enjoy, and the crybabies will come along and say, "You're excluding us. Why are you not letting us in?" You know, again, it boils down to, are you willing to fight for your game?
Void storm is intensifying.
You know, lots of people don't like conflict. Have you noticed that? A lot of people don't like to go head to head with other people. I don't mind because, to an extent, it's just, look, it's my way or the highway and I know I'm right. So I will go head to head with you. And that is the issue. A lot of us are scared to tell these people off, but we need to tell them off. You know? If you keep letting a bunch of crybabies, and haven't you noticed that all the crybabies use the same excuse? They say, I work. I don't know life this game like you guys. Like, they say it like I'm not scraping tooth and nail just to work my ass off here producing music just so I can feed my damn family. Alright, I'm not even turning a profit from my music side. Thank God for you guys supporting my streaming, or else this would be a problem. I wouldn't even be able to feed my family. I'm working just the same as everybody else. It's a job. But they don't care about that. They think that they are the divas and devas of the world. They think that they are, you know, the center of the universe. So no matter what, we got to keep these people out. You know, when you see that type of person, shut them down. They don't want to adapt. They're just going to make your game worse. And unfortunately, we let them sit here. We tried to be all inclusive. Because we didn't want to be labeled as the toxic community. But guess what they did? They turned us into a toxic community anyway. And now, what we have is speedrunners, leaderboard folks. This was a nice community back in the preseason, when there was no such thing as a leaderboard. Everybody just did their own thing. You know, sure, some people were doing something faster with specialized builds, but everybody was on the same foot. Then, it got to where it is. Why? Because people constantly said, yeah, let's make things easier. When Gluttony was first released, he was a lot of fun, wasn't he? For those of you old enough to remember. because you actually needed to build an ultimate Valby with her specialized mod to handle Gluttony. And one Valby would take care of the orb mechanic, while the rest of us wailed on him, and the rest of us better have specialized Haley builds. And then they just straight up, yeah, let's reduce Gluttony's damage, because, you know, why not? Crybabies can't handle him? Okay, no problem. Here's your milk and bottle.
Get ready.
Leaf dial? No, it doesn't. You can release or rather dismiss a Descendant anytime. But what I will say is that Descendant slots are only $1, dude. Just buy them. If you cannot afford $1 for gaming, like, I'm genuinely not trying to be mean when I say this, but if you cannot afford $1 for a video game, you need to not be playing video games. You need to be hustling. You need to be getting your hustle on, okay? I want to be clear about that, because I think that when people cannot spend money on the game, that's just really sad. Back in Season 1, hell yeah, that was the only problem. Oh, I forgot about my inversion reinforcer. There's no option for that. If you play the same Tremble Dust, then just choose the option that you feel fits best with you. And if you don't fit with any other option, then it's completely fine. Then just don't vote in the poll.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
If you lean positively, then take the positive option. If you lean negatively, then take the negative option.
You're next.
Season 1 was a good season.
Didn't want me. You like this.
And Zokai, you still got the preset for Gluttony. Understandable.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
DFD is the same as always, just working on my stuff, as I always do.
Shout.
I would not be doing anything other than working for the people. As I always am.
Charge. Get ready. Take this.
Literally forgot
Distraction
to
from Operation
redo
Zone.
up my inversion reinforcer. Whoops. Gotta get that sorted now. Always better to test with this. MP and then yeah, evolutionary
Inversion
cooling
energy
sensor.
amplification at 200%. Descendant, I urge you not to absorb any more particles.
Guide, hush
Your
now.
arcade has consumed enough to be a small iron heart in itself.
I doubt so, Extreme GR. But even if you tell them that, they're not gonna listen and they're not gonna care. Like I said, unless we take active action to shut them down in every single situation. You see it on Reddit, slap them down. Hit their karma or whatever it is, you know, downvote them. And you see them in the official Discord, say, hey buddy, maybe you should go play Roblox, you know? It's Weenie Hut General out there for you.
All personnel.
Thing is
Storm
that
is
people like that will always
Conditions
exist
are
at the end of the day.
unfavorable.
And they ruin
Proceed with
games.
caution. Over.
But are you gonna let them ruin your game?
Descendant, enemy troops are being
your
transferred in
choice.
large numbers. You must attack their point of origin.
Now we can't. Now it's very hard to reverse course because you've basically already let them have free reign. I've noticed people weren't complaining when they made Frostwalker easier. People didn't complain when they made Molten Fortress easier. Because we made several suggestions on stream back then. And funnily enough, most of y'all didn't know me back then because most of y'all were probably watching some other creator. And look at how that went. Did that creator do anything for you? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. But now you're here watching me and you can see the difference for yourself. Because I've been talking about this since pre-frickin' season. I already said, Molten Fortress and Frostwalker, the nerf should have been done differently.
Get ready.
They could have slowed down Frostwalker's movement speed. Like, yeah, I even made a lore-based explanation. So when Frostwalker goes into frenzy, he was moving really fast, right? People couldn't hit his legs. I said, why don't you slow down his movement speed by like 50% and show him venting coolant air, so Descendants cannot get too close to him, right? Because he's venting coolant air. But if they shoot his legs from a distance and because he's moving slowly, it's easier to aim at the legs, then that would have been perfectly fine as a way of dealing with Frostwalker. And they could have kept his mechanic the same. Do you think they did that? No, they didn't.
You're next.
Instead, they just completely said, you know what, his mechanic sucks. Let's just remove his mechanic entirely.
Energy purification operation.
No thoughts on it. I have not built it, and I cannot be bothered building it. I may build it sometime later in future, but not right now. Because 750 Arcade Tuning XP is a lot worse than 1,500 a pop, so I'd rather get 1,500 a pop. So there's no way I'm going to normal mode when I've got all these characters to tune up.
You're next.
Tis a pain, but I'm doing it.
Stop. Back away. You're next. Charge.
New super chat received.
Well, thank you very much for the super chat, Shark. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Listen, I'm glad that you guys are having fun, Unknown.
Get ready.
Have fun. But he's still slow as hell. And if I have to use a weapon to make him good, that's not a very good Descendant at all.
Charge.
It's kind of like how people were bigging up Viessa by saying, oh yeah, use the Clairvoyance. I did. She still sucked. Because she was still relatively slow compared to other Descendants. It's just not fair, honestly.
Get ready. Shields are down. Need to be recharged. Charge. No chance. Stop.
That's the issue I have with Blair. I want his whole mechanic vibe to change. Because it feels so wrong that, you know, Arson Boy is all very slow at casting.
Get ready.
I mean, Ajax, he just jumps and does instantaneous damage. Like, why can't Blair have that?
No chance.
I hate to say it, John, but Ajax is actually a lot better off than freaking Blair. He is quite fast at dealing with stuff.
Get ready.
He's got very good range on his AoEs. Alright?
Away.
You can just put up this shield and very safely shoot anybody through it. Because what's the enemy gonna do? Enemy can't touch you through it. Plus, you're also gonna get extra firearm attack.
Operation completed.
So there you go.
Awaiting transfer to transport position. Well done, Descendant.
That is the other problem, John. It feels like Blair is designed to play up close and personal, but why? It's not like that is even a thing in this game. If everybody else is deleting from a distance, then by the time Blair gets there, like everybody's already killed it. Hell, Ajax, like I said, has more range than Blair. I'm not complaining for complaining's sake. I'm telling you the guys the truth. Now, of course, you don't have to believe me. I will tell you again. It is a sad state of affairs, in my personal opinion, that they have let this get to this point. When I played Blair, I was like, wow, so I can throw my fireball. And here's the thing. The fireball can sometimes just disappear. And the explosion radius is teeny teeny tiny. It's like I'm throwing one of Lepic's grenades. At least Lepic has a traction grenade. I can pull the whole room together. Then what's Blair gonna do? Yep. So you can enjoy the high crit rate. You can enjoy the damage. It's like those people that always tell me, you know, VS is so good, I can deal 1 billion damage. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. I'm so happy for you. You can deal 1 billion damage. So how fast can you clear the 400%? Oh, yeah, about 6 minutes. Then there goes my bunny, just go straight through in 2 minutes. Then what do you want? And now she's even faster because they buffed Electric Condense. So she can use that in the boss room and absolutely just go. So no matter how you slice it, they need to rework Blair. Now, again, this boils down to whose suggestions are they listening to?
Troops are on the ground. Transport is en route to standby position. Best of luck, Descendants.
Very true, Cascadia. Very true. That's why I think a lot of people have lost confidence in the devs. They feel like they don't understand their own direction, and it's true. They don't. It seems to me that they're just doing knee-jerk reaction after knee-jerk reaction, trying desperately to cater to an audience while selling lunar skins. That's how it feels to me. Genuinely. I feel like they're not doing the best job they can for us, and they should be doing more.
Let's go.
They need to be listening to real suggestions. I haven't played Valby after recent buffs, so I really do want to try her again before I make a judgment. I cannot in good faith make a judgment right now. So I hope you understand. I'll try and play her later this week if I get the chance, okay? Got my word on that. I just need a semi-decent reactor for her, which I do not currently possess, unfortunately.
Charge. No chance.
Oh, VSO is always garbage. That's why, like, why is she the baseline? She can't do shit. VSO should never have been a baseline. The only baseline in the game should have been Freyna. End of story. People say, but wait, Freyna's so strong. Duh. The whole point of this game was to lean into power fantasy. I don't have a power fantasy playing a crippled cook.
We needed to purify the void energy.
Nothing wrong with loving Viesa, she's just garbage. It doesn't take away from the facts. Viesa is one of the slowest farmers in the game, despite the fact that she's not even good for bossing. Haley outclasses her in almost every way, and Haley was also selected as one of the baselines for bossing. So one-shots aren't going away anytime soon, but that being said, again, it boils down to the fact, look, Viesa is weak. People can like her. You can love her. You can, you know, dream of having a relationship with her. You can even make an AI that's designed like Viesa so that she can say nice things to you as you fall asleep at night. Sure. I'm sure there's a couple of people that's done that. But she is, unfortunately, weak. And no good compared to any of the real farmers in the game. This is not a suitable baseline. If you want a baseline, I'd say pick Freyna. She should have been the baseline for farming. Better yet, like I already suggested, a better suggestion that I had was pick Bunny as the baseline farmer and then adjust timings for other descendants around Bunny. An alternative farmer should be about 20-30 seconds slower at most. Then, you know, you've got those that are non-farming characters. Non-farming characters may be about a minute and a half slower than Bunny because they're not designed for farming, but they should still, if they're given an option to farm, they should have something like that. Then finally, you've got those that are solely single target. Now those, okay, if they're playing a single target build, they should be much slower. But that's how you do a baseline. You don't do it in the current way that they've done it, which I think makes no sense. No idea, Knife Show. I haven't even planned around that yet. I will think about it at a later time.
You're next.
At this moment, I'm very sorry to say, but she's really not on my mind at all.
Take this.
So I'll have to go in and discover it slowly.
Kill me.
Well, why wouldn't I be honest, my friend? I have no reason to be dishonest. Dishonesty is how we got in the current situation in the first place. So yes, I've got no love for dishonesty.
Stop. You're next. Charge. Hypercube activated.
If I ever caught a Viesa in my high-level void erosion farms, I would literally smack that Viesa. Please do not bring your Viesas in if you're doing high-level void erosion.
Mission complete.
All she can do is
Requesting
crowd
transport
control.
support.
And I don't need that, I need damage. Rosie March, you're using a non-attribute mixture reactor? Fair enough. But yeah, I'm just going to wait until I actually play her to find out what she actually needs. Because it's going to depend on what skills I want to build on her, what I actually want to utilize on her. Then I'll have to find an appropriate reactor to go with it. There's nothing wrong with liking all the Descendants. But facts are facts. Efficiency is all based on what is actually good in the game.
Specialized Vulgus aircraft
Well then,
detected.
Chris, you should be making
That
2
aircraft
catalysts per
is
day.
used to fly through
If you
void
run out of
forest.
catalysts, it means that
must
you are
be
uncool.
shut down.
And you must now make yourself cool.
Charge. Shields are offline.
Well, VS I know for sure she's Garbo, but I cannot judge Valby yet. I haven't played her fairly. Yet.
Stop.
Can I rank all the mobbing Descendants? No, because I don't do that. I feel that ranks are literally the... I'm not saying this to anybody in particular, but the one thing I hate are... This is a tier list video.
Charged.
Okay, this is a tier list video. Oh, let me rank the Descendants right now. No, 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 no.
Shields are offline.
Because when you do something like that, right, you may discourage people from trying something out. And also, some Descendants are better in certain situations than other Descendants. So, I believe in building up a roster. That's why I'll never do a tier list and I'll never rank
Let's
Descendants.
go.
For me, there's only one statistic that matters. Kill time. And I either choose whether somebody is effective or not effective. Or rather, efficient. I'm sorry. I should use the correct word. Efficient or not efficient. For example, Ajax right now, he actually counts as a fairly efficient farmer. Blair would be considered inefficient. Haley, highly inefficient farmer. But that's the only categorization I do. I don't rank them like saying, oh, this is A, B, C. Because what's your standard? It's very arbitrary, you see? And also, please do not actually name a creator by name. I'm so sorry, my guy. I have to take a moderation action against that. You'll be able to chat for 5 minutes. But if you ever name a creator here, it's considered unprofessional. And it can potentially start drama. All right? I never discuss creators by name, and I certainly don't target any creators in the statements that I make. All right? If you believe that I'm speaking about a creator, you're welcome to that belief. But don't ever mention it on my stream. The second you bring up somebody's name, that can cause drama, and that means drama for us and the Robot Nation. We're not interested in that. So if you ever bring that here, I'm so sorry. I will have to remove you as part of my professional standard. A good creator should never name another creator by name. I do call out bad behavior, yes. But have you noticed I've never named a name? Because the very second that you name a name, you're as bad as them. And I would never do that.
Let's go. You're next.
Sure, Rosie, whatever works for you. Ajax is very efficient as a farmer, but not as efficient as Keelan. So he counts as efficient, but he's not going to be like those hyper efficient farmers. So he's like in between. Exactly. So I don't mind y'all chatting. I don't mind y'all having a laugh at the statements that I make. But at the end of the day, we just don't name creators, all right? I mean, it's no secret that some creators, I do look down upon them. You know, because all they do is buy views all day, make tier lists, act like idiots, you know, and literally only come back every single update just to post up some stupid video, then buy the views for said video. I mean, I've literally seen them do that. Like, their streams can have over 1,000 viewers, except for the fact that, funnily enough, their chat looks like mine. In fact, I'm pretty sure my chat is more active than theirs. Huh, funny how that works. But anyway, those kinds of people, look, we don't name them by name. Even if we call them out, we don't name them by name because it's not effective. Once we name them by name, we're just as bad as them. We're no different from the scum that are buying views, you know, making shit content just to lie to people, and they'll continue doing that. You know, they'll keep trying to do that for as long as they can because that's all they've got. That's all they've got. Congratulations, JB. Well done. You know?
Operation completed.
And you'll see it very soon. Now, there are some people that left already.
Well done, Descendant.
Some I respected, some I didn't. But the ones that I didn't respect, I tell you, a lot of them, they left as soon as they couldn't turn a profit on this game. And this is despite the fact that they were so much higher than me in the creator rankings at the time when they left in the preseason. It was quite wild. And I was thinking to myself, why did they leave? I only found out later that's because they kept buying views. Once they couldn't turn a profit with every single video they were making, they were out of there. Whereas for me, I don't buy my viewership. Every view that I get is completely organic, which means I take home everything that I get. Your donations straight to me and my family. You're feeding me and my family, helping me pay rent, so I don't have to worry about that. You see, that's why I can just chill and relax. Peacemaker does not work with Blair. Mr. Todd. I think you mean Valby, because if you look here, the Peacemaker only increases non-attribute skill power. It does not increase any other skill power, and quite frankly, Blair does not deal non-attribute. He's a fire attribute descendant. So, no, if you read this, sir, please check that, because it only increases non-attribute skill power, nothing else. So this will work with Valby. It will not work with Blair. Okay? If you're using it with 3 speed mods, it only affects his run speed, which you can do with any other gun in the game. It's not going to buff him. I mean, if you just want to use it as a speed stick, then that's completely different. But, you know, it's not going to help him, just so you know.
Descendant, enemy troops are being transferred in large numbers. You must attack their point of origin.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged. Stop. Down. Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
I mean, I've got multiple speed sticks.
Charge. This. Shield.
You can use the Enduring Legacy, you can use something else, Secret Garden, whatever. There's a lot of options. Although I do want to use Peacemaker as Valby's personal speed stick. I've been thinking about that. Just to make sure she's faster at farming.
Let's go.
Hulk always smashing, Foxarella. You know it.
You're next.
It's just that now that I'm an older man, I am very selective about who I want to Hulk smash. Okay? I'm very selective about my smash clientele.
Let's go.
Right now I keep it at just one.
Back away. Charge.
I'm pretty sure that the way they should do Blair's changes is this. I want to see his... When he throws his fireball, I want the whole room annihilated. I don't care if people say, it's going to make him OP. Good. It's about damn time he became OP.
Prime the detonator with your arcade. Then activate the remote detonation device.
ATOMs can also be a sprint speed stick if you want.
Let's go. Get ready. Stop. No chance. Let's go.
Even so, that's not really very effective. I mean, you can use it if you want, but it doesn't turn the gun automatic, it just makes the gun dump its mag. Which I guess you can utilize, but I mean, hey, up to you if you want to do that. I mean, like I said, you can use it as a speed stick, but probably some YouTuber popularized it. For me, I still wouldn't do that because at the end of the day, he's still slow as heck. If he wasn't slow as heck at doing stuff, I'd be okay with it. Like, why would I use him if just to argue the point? If you're gonna use Peacemaker, then why wouldn't I just use it with Valby instead? Because anything that Valby could do, I could... Sorry, anything that Blair could do, I could do on Valby.
Get ready. Let's go.
I mean, you do you, Todd, but again, my channel's job is to stick to the facts. I'm not gonna sell people a lemon.
Stop. No chance.
Depends on the content, Devin. Because certain content, and of course, if you, depending on how you structure your Ajax, you can do it.
Let's go. Back away. Shields are offline. Get ready. Shield. Loading. You're next. No chance.
Unfortunately, the arcade tuning is temporary. If it wasn't temporary, then by all means, you know, I'd use that. But it is unfortunately temporary.
Out. Shields are offline.
At the end of the day, look, if they show you how to achieve it, then good. You can try and follow their build, but for me, I don't worry about it. No sense in sweating about it. Also, you'll notice that I only exclusively test on the highest tier enemies in the lab. That's why my numbers, the numbers that I play with are smaller. If you test on a level 1 enemy, you could hit unbelievable amounts of damage, but there's no point in that.
Operation zone initiated. Good work, Descendant.
No, not the arcade tuning tree. You're talking about this, Adrenaline Rush. That's the 16% movement speed. Only lasts 10 seconds. Cooldown 20 seconds. The arcade tuning tree is permanent, but then you'd have to invest in this. That literally requires you to come all the way down here and grab that. Depends on whether you got spare points or not. If you do, then that's great. If you don't, then not very worth it. But here I just use 2 sprint speed cores, and that puts me around sprint speed 1104. Yep. A third one would be nice for Ajax. Keelan is better than Blair, Michael. Do you know how fast Keelan is? Like, if your Keelan is slower than Blair, I worry about you, man. Keelan is literally one of the fastest Descendants in the game. He's only 20 seconds, well, 20 to 30 seconds behind Bunny. So, your choice. I mean, hey, you can believe whatever you want to believe. And those of you who love Blair, like, by all means, go play Blair. Just don't blame all the other Descendants when they rush past you and basically wipe out the entire map before you even get a chance to throw a single skill. Actually, Keelan is also better on the bosses and elites, if you know how to play him correctly. There's a methodology to hit them really, really hard, but you gotta know what you're doing.
You're next.
And you also need the arcade tuning, FYI. If you have everything properly set up, you can get very, very close to maximize damage.
Charge.
But like I said, it requires a special setup. you can use an adjusted setup with him, which I have been considering.
Let's go.
But it's for mobbing only.
Stop. Charge.
I mean, listen, play whatever you want for whatever purpose you want. You know, I don't care what you guys do in your own personal time. All I'm saying is stick to facts, you know? For example, Blair is slow as ass. That's a fact. You want to play him for fun? By all means, dude. Nobody's going to hold a gun to your head and say, don't you dare, don't you dare.
Wide-range shaping charge drop complete.
Go ahead and do what you want.
Begin the void energy purification operation. Descendant, prime the detonator with your RK. Then activate the remote detonation device.
But listen, if it's necessary, I'll happily go over Keelan if I have to. If that's what people need to know, you know, then boy better know.
Back away. Charge. No chance. Reload.
Yeah, they will. There's gonna be 2 new Transcendent modules. I just hope that they're good, because unless they're gonna buff his base kit, he's gonna be dead on arrival. Just saying.
Charge.
Indeed, your joy is most important. Just, a lot of people often forget that when I make my judgments, or when people ask me stuff, I have to give you the efficient answer.
Get ready.
That's my job. But what you choose to do, hey, that's on you, man. Just as long as you're not trying to skew facts.
You're next.
Like, for example, what I'll never stand for is somebody that says, oh, Blair's the best farmer in the game, hands down. Like, you try and say that, I will go at you. And I will prove you wrong instantaneously. But if you're just having fun with him, then just say that, you know? I like to see this. Like the guy that says I like to see big numbers, good. Do it. Nobody's gonna say you're wrong. Just as long as you're not trying to promote the dude as like the best choice in the world, then sure. You know, as long as we stick to facts when giving answers to others, because dude, they may not know the game as well as we do. Always be honest in your answers. Always be truthful. That's fine. Yep. I don't account for personal taste in anything that I do. I'm strictly, okay, here are the facts. Whatever you do with the facts, up to you. I mean, if you believe that, Michael, okay. You are allowed to have an opinion. But I'm just going to say that on a factual basis, you're wrong.
Get ready.
My people have seen me play Keelan. They've seen my build in action. They know how fast he is, so you do you, boo. I'm not going to waste my time arguing that. And if that's all you want to say, then, well, you've said your piece, but if you keep it up, I'll just throw you out of here. Same as always. Don't spread misinformation. You're welcome to your opinion, but don't spread misinformation. Okay? Take that as a warning.
Take this.
No, thank you, Michael. If you want to run with me, same rule applies to everybody. Become a top supporter, then you can run with me.
Pound actual to
Otherwise,
HQ.
there is no need.
Mission complete. Requesting transport support.
Now, like I said, if you keep this up, I will just throw you out as a troll. All right? If you want to keep down this line of thought. You've been warned. I will not warn you again. And Knife Show, I mean, I feel that the devs gave the guns the cores to even things out. See, if they made Enduring Legacy strong, people would not have experimented with other guns because they would have just gone to the Enduring Legacy, cored it up, and made it the strongest gun again. Prior to the cores, okay? Okay, there you go, Michael. Use a 24-hour chat ban. When you're ready to behave like an adult, you can come back and speak in chat. Otherwise, good luck to
Confirm
you.
arrival at the operation zone.
Well, you
Proceed
see,
with
Austin,
caution.
this is kind of the problem. These people don't actually play the game, nor do they care about you guys. They're just here to ruin it for everybody. And the more that they do that, they want this game dead so badly. Why do you think I say don't listen to people all the time?
Back away.
You can do whatever you want to do, play whatever you want to play, have it your way, But at the end of the day, you gotta remember that not everybody's like me. They don't always have viewer interest in their heart. Like for me, what I do is I'm here to help you guys. Legit. However you may feel about me, whatever you might think about me, I'm here to help.
You're next.
Maybe that's not enough for some people, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm here to help as many as I can. And I will. But just be careful what you see and read on the internet. I mean, so many times I've had a dude swear. I had like one guy in the preseason swear that he could hit billions of damage as Bunny. I asked him, show me your build. He never did. Never came back. Because he knew he was wrong. So, by all means, you know. People can do whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, I'm just going to show people how the average player plays and what you can do as an average player to have a good time, and that's it. That's my job.
Descendant.
Realistically, you can use Keelan with anything, but yes.
No chance. Let's go.
I like Mobile Strike, but I don't like to use it in the, as weird as it might sound, I actually don't like to use it for mobbing. Because I feel like once you activate it, you have to go ham with your Mobile Strikes, which feels really, really weird. Because if I have to bust everything in 3 seconds, I'm just not interested, you know? I like to take my time and I like to have my skills mean something. Already been released, Panda Gaming. You should be following my YouTube and SoundCloud. Why are you not following my YouTube and SoundCloud? You should know when the releases happen. Well, yes, Austin, but that's kind of the key, isn't it? It has to be consistent. And this was in the preseason.
Descendant. Enemy troops are being transferred in large numbers. You must attack their point of origin.
Let's go.
When I answer something, Austin, and I hope you will do this for me because sometimes you do go out of context, always think about my response in context.
Let's go.
All right?
Charge.
And guys, why are you guys asking this question? Did you not hear the part where I said this was way back in the preseason when Bunny was considered extremely weak? Still a fast farmer, but also relatively weak. Way before any of her new modules. Yes, that's why I said, why are you guys talking about it and asking me which faction was it against? I told you, the guy straight up lied already because this was in the preseason. Did I say that the guy said it now? No, I didn't, did I? So please, guys, before you ask questions, context, okay? If you're not even going to listen to the context, then why are you at my stream? I'll ask that question bluntly. If you won't listen to everything that I say before asking your questions, don't just type for the sake of typing. That's no different than in a conversation, without listening to the other speaker, just shoot your mouth off. Don't do that. Always listen carefully to what I say and think for yourself, was it in context in the current conversation or was I just telling you something that happened in the past?
You're next.
Not today, Extreme GR. Currently, we're having quite a few conversations, so I don't really want to interrupt those. I will happily put my music on at other times, but I feel that if we're having discussions, then it's best not to distract anybody. Okay? I hope you can respect that. I will play my music on stream, and I'd love to share my music on stream, but I'll play it when I'm ready to do so. Okay? So let's all be respectful, because other people are here to also talk. Ultimate Blair is coming on the 17th of April. So it's not next season. Again, please do not spread misinformation. If you are unsure about information, ask. And Clutch, when is Ultimate Blair releasing? You've already been told. Should you work on regular Blair? Nope. In my personal opinion, unless you really like Blair, he is slower than the pace of evolution at doing any activity. And every other character in the game can beat him. I'm currently busy with Ajax, but I'll happily showcase that at a later time. Maybe if I have a little extra time today, I'll showcase it to you. I will counter that point, Carlos, by saying this one thing. Ines is still far better for almost any activity if I was just farming. If I was just straight farming, I would use Ines. Just saying. there is no reason for me to use another Descendant in place of an S for farming-based activities. That being said, I do enjoy playing other characters because that's my job. But I have to stop the misinformation slightly there, because as much as I appreciate your personal taste in the matter, an S still is faster, so I can't really say it's not often an S. It would be an active choice mentally if you said, well, I could play an S, but I'd rather play something else.
Conditions are unfavorable.
So we got to be clear on that, because don't forget, Ines is still one of the fastest farmers in the game. In fact, she is still the fastest farmer in the game, beating out Bunny, if you're using my build correctly. She does beat Bunny.
You're next.
And we have to be fair about that, because if we lie, then again, we're no different to the other people out there. I don't know, High Rise. Check out the dev live stream, and then you guys tell me what content is coming, okay? I'll count on you.
Get ready.
And at the end of the day, you know, whether the nerf is necessary or not, I don't think that's a matter of debate. I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whether something is necessary or not is often irrelevant. What matters is what happens after. Positive or negative. Because no matter how good something may seem, if it doesn't translate to real numbers and real profit, that's the big problem. No, I completely agree, Carlos. Variety is good. That, 100%. But if you say it in that way, then I fully agree with you. Absolutely. Like, Ines is the fastest, but I'd rather pick Bunny. Because I can just turn my brain off, you know? I can just barrel through the level. No need to think. Zero thought whatsoever. I just do what I need to do and I'm good. You know? And that feels good for me.
You're next. Out. Get ready. Let's go.
That is actually true. It is the Void Fragment. He's very fast at the Void Fragment.
You're next.
Yeah, that's what the devs say, but honestly, I don't believe them even for a second. Because it's not the first time that I've given them easier solutions to their problems. But the devs themselves chose not to use those solutions. Maybe they don't tune into my streams, maybe they listen to other content creators, who knows what the actual answer is. But it's not the first time, and I have to say this straight. And those people who are veterans who listen to my stream almost every day, you'll know that we've discussed better solutions for problems multiple times over. All of which are viable within the game context, FYI.
Let's go.
Yet they've not been implemented. Strange, huh? I don't know, man. I don't believe even for a second that they had trouble with content. That to me is just a very nice sounding excuse for them testing the waters. You want to know what I really think? I think that they just tested this out. They said, okay, what happens if we finally finally nerf a character? Let's see what happens to our player count numbers. You know, is it going to tank? Things. They're using this as an experiment. I tell you, if the player count had tanked hard, they're going to revert that in S nerf. And they'll say, we're sorry. They'll start apologizing as they normally do.
Let's go.
Now, I don't think they will do that because I think that this is actually good in the sense that it brings variety. And I like variety. Alright, so I'm actually for this. But I feel that it was never anything to do with limitations or, you know, any potential content being delayed. No. Don't believe that for a second. Of course I am Extreme GR. I'm a professional. And yes, Glay is the only one that you can invest in for the Void Erosion Purge if Serena gets nerfed. And she will be nerfed, according to the devs. They have already stated that she will be nerfed, so it's best you guys prepare yourself for that. Because if you don't prepare, then you're going to feel really sad when it happens. I don't want you guys to feel sad, okay? Anyway, as I've said multiple times, my only job is simple. I'm just here to give you guys truth as much as physically possible.
You're next.
Yep, this is definitely a first phase for them, Carlos, and we'll have to see. They're watching things as much as we are, you know.
All units proceed to transport location. Great work.
I hope that they don't reduce the ATOM's numbers because, quite frankly, the whole point of this game is power fantasy. they better stop at the Serena nerfs. If you want my personal opinion, right? If they don't want the tables to go against them, and I'll say it openly now, if they do any more nerfs beyond the Serena nerf, yeah, they're gonna have a riot on their hands. The Serena nerf is already gonna cause major review bombing, and we are going to see a serious situation whereby the devs have to really fight for their lives out there. All right, that's gonna happen because nobody likes their favorite toy getting nerfed. Oh, boo-hoo, you released her, you know, overpowered. That's literally a you problem. Now you're gonna take that away from the people. Okay, you know what the people are gonna do, right? People can use whatever they want, but at the end of the day, unknown, the key thing is that gonna help? Is that gonna be useful? Begs the question. And to the Lewis that said this game is going to die someday, all games are going to die someday. So why are you here if you just want to be negative? If you just want to be negative, there's a door. You can go elsewhere. You can go to Reddit and complain there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other people to rub your back, you know, little circle jerk that you can get going right there. But, you know, that's not what we're discussing here. And if you want to discuss that, I will throw you out. So either participate in our discussion or, you know, use the door. I don't recall Valby ever getting nerfed. Again, and I did tell you this before, Cascadia, the so-called toe thing was not a nerf, it was a rework. And the people that viewed it as a nerf, look, that's their interpretation of that. Uh-huh. Okay, Lewis, since you are just somebody that's not going to be serious and, you know, you just want to act up, here's a 5-minute chat timeout. When you're ready to have, you know, participate properly in discussion like an adult, you know, then you can come back. What do I think about Ezimo? Zari, I have no idea yet. I haven't played him. I genuinely have not touched Ezimo because I had no desire to. I was like, man, this is just Bomberman. Like, do I have to play him now? Not really. So since I was pretty chilly Manjaro on playing Bomberman, I was just like, okay, whatever. Okay. Now, please wait for the video if you're not sure, Fredbo. Okay. As much as I would love to give you information right here and now, there's a reason I don't do that. Because what people do, and they've already done it multiple times, is they'll just, because nowadays I don't hide my builds anymore, they'll just take the build from my stream, then they'll post it as their own build on their YouTube channel with no credit given to me. So in order to prevent this from occurring repeatedly, I say, look, wait for my build video to come out. If you can understand it from my stream, then go ahead, but I really recommend people not take things from my stream. It's still undergoing testing. It's still in the process. We're still all going through this, so I ask kindly for your patience.
Extreme concentrations of void energy within
Will my next video be
zone.
Ajax build video?
All units, please
Not really.
proceed at your own discretion.
I have something else that I'm
Do
going
not
to talk about
exceed your
tomorrow,
limits.
but yeah, my next TFD video, when this is all finished, will most likely be Ajax. Yeah.
Get ready.
I think that Serena is not going to be as heavy-handed as Ines. If the devs are smart, they will nerf her, but not as significantly as Ines. Like, we're still going to see some pretty good kill times on the Tormentor. We're still going to see some relatively good kill times in Void Erosion Purge. But it's not going to be as extreme as what we're seeing now, I think.
Charge! Get ready. Stop. Back away. Get ready.
Omkar, I would still recommend Malevolent, yes, but just get the Battle Pass, dude. It's not very expensive. If you cannot afford to get the Battle Pass, Look, I'm genuinely not trying to be mean when I say this, but you got to worry about your hustle, man.
Charge.
Genuinely. Look, I believe that you should always be able to afford a battle pass for a game. If you cannot, then you need to take a serious look. Alright? But that being said, if you really don't want to, you can still get the Malevolent and utilize it. I mean, you'll be able to eventually max it out once it becomes into normal rotation. Like the Voltia will eventually. So yeah, your choice. I still think it'll be good. Oh good, Fredbo, no problem at all. Thank you for understanding the situation.
Shield. Get it ready.
No,
Shield.
I don't do that, Craig. What I use is genuinely what I'm testing.
You're next.
I would
subscriber
not use
detected.
anything that I would not use in the final. So no. I don't do dishonest things like that, because if I do, then I'm going to be just as bad as everybody else out there. And I really, really don't want to be as bad as those other content creators out there. I'd rather just stay honest. If they want to keep stealing my stuff, then they can keep stealing my stuff. I really don't care. At the end of the day, like I said, my profits keep going up because people keep realizing that, hey, this is the only honest guy. Sure, he's rough, abrasive, and way too straightforward, a little uptight about the rules, but he's still the best.
Let's go. Shields are offline.
Well, that's kind of the thing. They might drastically alter the AoE, they might change other factors about it, you never know. Nerfs can come in many forms. That's okay, Dean. Thank you very much for still watching my videos. I appreciate it.
Shield. Charge.
Didn't want me. You like this.
Shields are down. Need to be recharged. Charge. Whoa.
I'm sure it'd be funny, Craig, but again, you know that I wouldn't do that. It's just not me, man. Me, I'm an honest man. Abrasive and aggressive, yes, but an honest man. So, what I use on stream is genuinely what I would give you at the end of the day. Because I'm not gonna play those ring around the rosy games, trying to bait somebody with something fake ass, and then at the end of the day, I'm doing some real shit. Nah, it's too much effort, man. Now I'm just gonna do what I'm supposed to do my job, and make sure you guys get what you need.
Mission complete.
And that's that.
All units proceed to transport location. Great work out there.
One more level. One second. Okay, again. How are we feeling after the buffs and nerfs? Let's take a look. 315 votes so far, which is fantastic. 55% of players are playing more because of the buffs. That's good. I'm hoping that continues to translate to a higher player count. I'm not 100% confident, but we'll see over the next few days how the numbers look. 25% are playing less, 7% actually quit because of this, and 14% are still having major connection issues, which is a big deal. I hope that they solve that.
Reporting extreme concentrations
Which they really
of
need to
void
do.
energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits. Specialized Vulgus aircraft detected. That
Specialized.
aircraft is used to fly through void storms. It must be shot down.
Be recharged. Yeah. Shields are offline. Initiate defense.
Well, people are gonna get really, really mad, but I don't know how they're gonna nerf her. That being said, they are gonna nerf her. We all know that.
Back away.
You and me both, Austin. There's nothing worse than thinking about the guillotine before the guillotine even gets there, you know?
Let's go.
It's a painful feeling, isn't it, friends? But we adapt, as we always have. We adapt, as we should.
You're next.
We are adapters.
Out of my way.
RK life signs detected inside a Vulcan structure.
Shield. Shields are down. They need to be recharged. Let's go. Back away.
Enjoy, Craig, enjoy.
Damn it.
Oh, Glay has always been good. I was hoping for that core update. Understandable, Cascadia. And that's a fair point.
You're next.
Well, yes, but here's the thing, Unknown. Although she does trivialize the content, people just don't have the time, dude. Like, sure, if you're really loving this game and you know you're a big supporter of this game, then every moment feels fun. But I speak from a neutral perspective, because I gotta tell you, Unknown, I don't play any games for fun. I don't have fun on any games. I just don't, because it's my job. When games become your job, there's no such thing as fun. There's only business, profit, right? So I look at everything from a neutral perspective, and I see both sides of the argument. For those that are really loving the game, it's not really cool when, you know, something just trivializes everything and it's like, oh god, you roll your eyes, right? But for the average player that's coming home after a long day at work, they're like, okay, I've got 2 hours to play. How can I do this fastest? Ah, Serena. And for them, the experience is very different. It feels so much fun. Just go through a couple of runs, you know, easy peasy, don't need to think, and yeah, it's great, you know? Oh, if they destroy Serena. Fair enough, Craig. Yeah, sim racing, huh? But yeah, that's how I see things, and that's why I realized that, look, as much as I understand people's perspective when, yeah, it totally trivializes the content, then people will ask, you know, what's the point of playing something when everything is so easy and it ends in 5 seconds? But some people out there don't have the time. You know, they still want to participate in the game. They still want to play. They're not asking for the game content to be easy, but hey, you know, they've got this amazing tool. They're going to use it. You know, they're going to have some fun with that. And those are the people that spend the most on skins. I have never tried doing that, MK7, so why don't you try doing that and see if you can beat any of the gun descendants. If you can beat any of the gun descendants, then I'll happily try out your build. Impress me. Build something and impress me if you can. I'd love to see somebody impress me.
Shields are offline. Charge! Out of my way.
Am I?
Mission complete.
Come on,
All
almost
units
there. Just one
proceed
more
to
level. Just
transport
one more level.
location. Great work out there.
Decent, yes, but the question is, can he beat a gun descendant? If he can, then we have something to work on. That's what I'm hoping to see anyway, but you know. Okay, now I will play some of my tunes a little later. Alright, hope you guys don't mind. I will, but only once I'm working on Keelan. First I'm gonna finish up a little bit of this Ajax, of the Slajax.
This is HQ. Troops are on the ground.
It's almost
Transport
done.
is en route to standby
I mean, not
position.
fully finished, but you got what I
Best
mean.
of luck, Descendants.
Charge! Get ready. Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
Yeah, I feel you, Craig. See you later, Extreme GR.
Shields are offline.
I'll try and play some tunes next time when you're at the stream.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged. Shield. You're next.
Sup, Arcane?
Out of my way.
How's it hanging, nerd man?
You're next. Shield. Stop. Let's go. Back away.
We've detected signs of life inside a nearby RK receptor.
Charge. Yeah. Take this. Get ready.
Hello, Cardavel.
Let's go. Stop.
Listen, Primal Luke, this is how they operate. The devs are already pretty fast at putting content in.
Let's go.
It's not that easy to develop a game. If you can do it faster than my guy, please sign up as a developer. You know, they'll pay you really well. But this is actually pretty fast.
This is
Fair enough,
HQ.
Arcane.
Enemy reinforcements incoming. Requesting strike on staging area.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged. Charge. Shield.
Been playtesting him since this morning. So the answer is yes. I'm fine as always, HP Notebook.
Now,
No problems here.
take this. Let's go. Stop.
Captain Elias, deploying RK. I am the original.
Shields are offline. Out of my way. Loading.
Yep, King Kong Ajax. It is the way. Well, I appreciate that, Craig. Always good to have the loyal ones.
Down.
I mean, y'all know how much I love Monster Hunter. I would say I know the industry pretty well, Primal Luke.
Stop.
And like I said,
Shield.
the onus is not on me. For anyone that says that they can make things faster, then by all means, please join the dev team and make things faster. I would be very, very grateful.
Transport inbound. See you soon.
Haha! The moment has arrived. The time has come, and so have I. Okay, heading to the 400%. Okay, let's bang some of my tunes right now. Now we're gonna go do some real shenanigans. Oops, wrong one. Now this is my latest song, so those of you guys who are interested, please make sure you check it out, alright?
New subscriber detected.
Nope. But you'll find my music early on Music and SoundCloud, YouTube Music and SoundCloud. Go there. I'm also on major music platforms, so if you enjoy, check it out. I make AI music. If you want to hear it at full volume, I suggest checking it out. It's good stuff. Oh, my stuff is always good. More tracks coming every day. And of course it is HP Notebook. I would only give you a build after testing it myself. Yes, it's on Apple Music. I'm not sure if that's what iTunes is. But it's on every major distribution platform. Not sure if it's on iTunes though. But you can check it out. If you can find RealAsianRobot there, it'll be there. But I am on Apple Music. I apologize, but I will not reveal anything about my music. Mostly because this is software that I'm only trying out right now. So I cannot speak for them. I'm not sponsored by them. So again, I will keep that private if you don't mind. However, what I would recommend for my own mistakes is definitely check out something for a month first. Don't buy it, because I wasted a lot of money buying into different softwares only for them to fail. So I learned very quickly that monthly membership is better. Test it out. Then once you find something that suits your style, then you should purchase a proper membership. I don't test in public unknown because it's unnecessary. Whatever does the highest possible damage in solo will deal the same damage in team-based games. But whether something is viable in team-based games, that's beyond the scope of testing, and it's unnecessary. Because you cannot control the public situation. In public, you might just get an NS that's going to run ahead of you. Then there's no point. Well, if you find the music is fire, just remember, all of this is my own songs. You can find me on my own channel, my music channel, and also on SoundCloud. So if you haven't hit those yet, please make sure you do. It's all too familiar, I know how this ends. I'm dying to know what it's like to pretend. I want you to save me, but you can't comprehend. I'm too far gone, too far gone. No worries, Knife Show. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And don't worry, I know that not everybody enjoys the taste in music. That's fine. For those that do, please do support my music. Thank you for enjoying it, Cardivel.
Save me from myself. I'm drowning. I don't wanna lose you. Somebody save me from myself.
Let's go.
I'm drowning. I don't wanna lose you.
Shields are down. Need to be recharged. Back away. Charge. Shields are offline.
John advertising for me? Thank you.
Dear child, can you hear my voice? Echoes of distant songs.
This.
I'll carry your memory as long as I'm still strong.
Let's go.
One night has dimmed from my life, 2 decades gone. Can't believe that you're gone.
Shields are down. Need to be recharged.
This is Ajax's emotional music video. It just helps leveling though.
Shields are
Keeps you less bored.
If there's no battle,
Shields are down. Need to be recharged. No chance.
my tears ignite.
Shields are offline.
When there's no
Thank you, Lawbreaker. Appreciate you, pal.
I will fight the
Let's go.
wars of light. The wars of light. Fallen,
Yep.
not
Emotional slamming.
forgotten, no. I'll never forget you.
Let's go. Shields are offline.
Nights are cold and long without you. Oh, my dear, I miss you so. You left me alone, but I'll carry
Shields are
on.
down. They need to be recharged. Shields are offline. You're next. This.
When I'm
Shields are down. They need to be recharged. And ready. Shields are offline.
That's one way to think about it.
Shields are down. They need to be recharged.
As for Daya, I don't know what element she'll be. She might become like
Back away.
fire, she could be neutral. I mean, the parents' arcade doesn't really relate to the child, so we'll have to see. I'm very interested to see what they eventually do with her if they decide to make her playable. We still don't know for a fact if she will be. This is 400%, dude. If your score is not this high, you better start worrying about it.
Shields are down. They need to be
Everyone's
recharged.
score is like this in 400%.
Shield. Down.
I don't think so. It seemed more like energy, so she could even be lightning for all we know. There shouldn't be any problems with the sorting mechanics. See you later, Foxy. Thank you very much for hanging out today. If you've got your junk filters properly set, you should be okay.
Wouldn't dull Geppetto, my dear. Lying here, lifeless toy. Will you come alive now? Save me, said the little boy. So he did. He cried and pleaded.
Maybe you're pressing the reset button accidentally, Kami, because mine is never reset. So once I do up my filters, I'm all good. So something might be going wrong. Maybe you've encountered a bug of some kind. I would say ask in the official Discord, see if anyone else has the same issue as you, because they might be able to help you better. For me here, I've never had that problem. Could it be an Xbox based issue then? Because if you're having the issue, Fox, it could be Xbox based. I just tested in 400% Carnival because it's easier to see what kind of clear time I'm getting. So I like to see what's the real result, you know? It's not everybody's taste, Doc, so I thank you for appreciating it, but I can't always play it. But thank you for enjoying it when it's playing. I'll play it when I'm just farming or, you know, doing boring stuff. When I don't have to think, that's when I play my music.
You're next. Get ready. No chance.
Oh, come on. Everyone's music is better than Luna's. Sorry. She ain't no DJ, okay? Luna needs to get on my level. I probably got more listeners on Spotify than she does. Just make sure y'all check out my releases on YouTube and SoundCloud, okay? We're releasing new tracks almost every day.
Back away. Let's go.
Of course, Freyna's still good. No change to Freyna. She's very strong.
A lonely heart in silence deep. Her voice once sweet,
You're next.
now laced with pain.
Get down. You need to be recharged.
Lost in the rain.
No chance.
In darkness found a cursed choice for melody gone. She mourns her voice. Oh, sing to me through storm and strife. In depths of war, where bed for life.
Let's go.
A soul submerged.
Ajax is good. Well, if used correctly. Plus, it's also the music making him look better.
I face my
This. You're next. Get down. You need to be recharged.
with scales that shimmer, beauty
Back away.
bright. She longs for arms
Initiate defense.
that hold her tight. But in his world, she's just a ghost.
Oh, I got a lot, man. I got a lot to get out. So yeah, I release almost every day.
Forbidden dreams through tears she soothes.
And if anyone's interested, here's where you'll find my tunes. Well, for the early releases. You can of course go on Spotify, Apple Music, but that's on a delay.
Sing to me through storm and strife.
Glay? I never use Glay for mobbing. You can use her with a restored relic though. And I've done that a couple of times, so yeah.
Face my doom. In depths of night, she longs to rise. A haunting call under stormy
Okay, some folks asked about the Python and whatnot. You can use it if you want. I might just get more sprint speed. 1 second.
Under the moon and shadows cast a tale of love forever lost. With every wave her sorrow swells, and death's below.
Nothing wrong with that, Kwang. Enjoy.
Darkness dwells.
Of course. This guy. Up to you, man. If you feel comfortable with the Albion cavalry gun, stick with the Albion cavalry gun. If you want something different, build it.
Lost in shadows pale. Her haunting voice
Sure, high rise. They can have a thumb from me.
in silent depths my heart's belong. But beauty fades.
Sure, Kwang.
And patience wears thin under the moon and shadows cast a tale of love forever lost. With every wave the sorrow swells, and depths below where darkness dwells. A mermaid's way
I don't think so.
forever doomed.
I can lower it a bit if you want.
Depths of the sea, her sorrow blue.
But the music should be pretty okay, considering the fact that stream sounds are already reduced. But I'm not gonna go any lower than this. It is how it is, man. Okay, so some people mention Keelan being slow, right? That is not the case. In fact, he is pretty darn fast. What I do have to do, though, is, forgive me, because I'm going to do a little bit of testing. I can't remember if this is the one that I wanted to use.
In the world of ivory whispers,
Nah, never mind, I'll go here. Okay.
girl lost in shadowed fate. Mirrors speak of destiny, echoes of love, whispers of hate.
I don't need this.
The apple gleams with dark delight. A choice awaits beneath the night. Snowflakes dance in freedom's light. Shattered chains replace the night.
Should work.
In harmony, a song will soar. A tale reborn forevermore.
Better.
Seven hearts await her slumber.
One moment, I will in just a second. We're gonna do a little bit of testing. I'm pretty sure this will work better. Now, Python is not helping Keelan. Python is what we call a speed stick. This is here so that I can move faster. That's it. That's all it is. So that's literally it. I'm using it as a speed stick. So I'm just gonna see if I can go even faster than I did before. Just for fun. Okay, so back to the music. Let's go see how fast I can clear this.
Trust entwined with thorns of grief.
Essentially, yes.
In twilight's grasp, they seek a wonder. A song of
Freyna is still good for sure.
silence
Freyna has
and
always been good. So yeah.
a kiss of life, a breath unshed.
Well, it also does pretty good damage for a stat stick, so yeah.
Away from
But
dreams
you'll see it. Yeah, it's got 2 yellow cores, so you can use this as a speed stick. It'll be better than the Thunder Cage. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the tunes, man. That's what they're here for.
Shows down. Crumbling.
In the forest field, a tale unfolds.
Oh shit.
Made and fed, her heart like gold,
This is your red.
with skin as white as the snow so
You
pure.
can't run away.
Beauty destined,
Shows down.
Well, you can play my tunes anytime. Just get on my SoundCloud or YouTube, and they're all there for you.
whispers that glow through the darkened trees. In shadows lurks a heart of unease.
I'll kill you.
Snow White, a
My shield's down.
skies, dream of the dawn, when true love lies. From darkness
I'll snuff them.
rise, let your soul take flight. With hearts entwined, we'll conquer the night.
My shield's down. Shows broken. This is your red. Shows down.
A poisoned apple, deceit takes its hold. The envy
I'll
of the
kill you.
queen, her heart turns cold. In slumber deep, the world fades away.
Crumbling.
I think, based on this though,
Love's true
that
can still say
this is not sufficient. It's not what I want.
Prince of Light. You try
Because basically, I think I can go even faster than this
to break the
with this old method. Because we can definitely reach, at least to the best of my knowledge, we can actually reach a very, very high attack speed, or rather movement speed, which would be a lot better. If that's what I want.
My shield's down.
Once I'm able to reach that, I can dash a lot more. Because this is insufficient. The Python will reduce the enemy's resistance. So anything that does toxic, including your own skills, will do more damage.
Symphonies of love forever will
Well, it can make him faster, but that's not the key. You see, like when you wanna do a build, right, it has to be
leaves its
fast and also clear things well. You see, so that's the biggest problem. I was testing a little bit of the impact of this. Now, I'll pause the music so I can go back to my explanations. But what I was doing here, and thank you to those of you who enjoyed my tunes, by the way. For those that are interested, please make sure you tune into my YouTube channel and my SoundCloud. You get new releases pretty much every day. Okay, so what I was just testing was whether or not I could tweak some of the skills that I was using beforehand, see if I could roll Keelan's power up a little bit. But unfortunately, I don't think it was as good as I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go back to the old build, which gives him more cooldowns. He's practically like almost to the maximum limit. Then, for the final skill, I'm genuinely thinking of, what is it? This multi-talented. Because his fusion skills, well, they're not that great. They'll, increase skill duration, reduce skill cost. But his singular skills will allow him to deal additional attribute damage. So this could act as a multiplier on top of that. I was thinking either this or Technique Manual would boost his damage by the greatest extent. I'm thinking multi-talented because it acts as a separate multiplier. This is what I'm thinking about right now. At least that's my plan, but we'll see. Thanks, Pollux. I'm just doing my best, doing the best that I can to ensure people have a good time. But that's my thought process right now. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm gonna try. Going back to the old cooldowns, I should be able to go even faster than I did before. Because the key is speed. I need to go as fast as humanly possible. Now, I do need some arcade tuning here, but I'm actually gonna go for cooldowns first, so I'm actually just gonna go all the way up here. Technique Manual deals damage based on your maximum hit points. Well, that's good, Brandon. Hopefully people will listen. Let me just do a quick speed comparison before I go off to the Sigma sector again. All right, let's roll.
You can't run away. Damn it. My shield's down.
Oh yeah. Okay, now this is what we're calling speed. Now we weren't getting this speed earlier.
Broken.
Well, this is definitely way, way better. There you go. Now, how fast do you want to Keelan? I'd say this fast is about good, right?
Shield's down. This is yours. Shield's broken. I'll kill you all.
And thanks to my maximized cooldowns,
Shield's broken.
don't even have to think.
With you can't run away. I'll kill you all. Shield's down.
Decimator's okay, but unnecessary for him. Unless you really want the ticks of his poison damage to do more damage. Because don't forget, Decimator increases skill power modifier, and I'm sure you guys already know from my video about how each one works, that that's not a relevant skill for Keelan.
Oh, snap.
But if you don't know the difference between skill power and skill power modifier, you might want to take a look at my video. It explains everything to you, and it's quite important because you must know the difference between the two, when to use it, when not to use it. In Keelan's particular case, I find skill power modifier unnecessary, so Decimator will not help me here. Unless you're hoping for your poison ticks to do extra damage, which, again, not very necessary.
Changing mags. Too slow. Swapping mags. I'll kill you all. Move. Damn it. My shield's down. This is your ramp.
Mobile Strike is absolutely worth using. But you gotta think about when you're gonna use it, because don't forget, Mobile Strike gives you, what is it, 3 seconds-ish of unlimited dashes, which you can extend, of course. But I'd be more keen, if you don't mind me saying, on using that as a bossing type thing. Oh no!
Oh no! Crumbling.
That's a whoops.
Damn it. My shield's down. Damn it. Changing map.
Okay, I would have finished this faster if I didn't sit in there and try to use the Python, but yes, that was funny. Yeah, they fixed the Ghost Bullet issue a while back. The problem now is the frame rate issue. Frame rates are separate from Ghost Bullets. Frame rates are entirely to do with the server, and that is not something they can fix right now. Yeah. Still, Bunny and Ines are way, way faster. Like, if you want to do a pound-for-pound comparison, Keelan is not all that slow, but at the same time, Bunny and Ines are just way, way faster. Just because of how much they can do. I mean, like I said, pound for pound, if we're going to go with, say, the absolute best, then let's swap over to Bunny. Okay. Now, same mission. Same thing, here we go. And yeah, I'm not so sure if it will operate well on controller, but them's the breaks, unfortunately, of control differences. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Now for Bunny, all this, super easy. She does not even need to care. Fair enough. See, where Keelan and several other characters lose out to like Freyna and Bunny is that they just don't have the range to compete with her. Bunny just annihilates everything that she was born to annihilate. because she's constantly pulsing all around her frequently, multiple times. You don't catch something the first time, it doesn't matter. She'll catch him on the second, you know? Use your electric condense correctly, and basically you are invincible. You're gonna dash from start to finish, and the fight's gonna be over.
New subscriber detected.
Oh no! Okay, well that ruined it. Unfortunately, the downside is that when Bunny goes off the map, her lightning emission stops. Sad, right? Now I have to wait for this stupid thing to cancel. Come on, cancel, you stupid skill. Okay, fine, I'll just shoot you to death. Jesus. At least the Enduring Legacy's still good for something, right? Now, since they both fell off the map, I guess that's roughly equal. But Keelan's about 30 seconds slower than Bunny. Now, if neither of them fell off the map, you'd probably see that only take about 2 minutes 50. It's all in my build video. Oh, sorry. Bunny's build video is not out yet. It'll be out tomorrow. But if you want my updated Bunny build, everything you need will be in tomorrow's update. So you can just take a look at that. In actuality, I'm running Ascending for skill cost reduction. Just for fun, but realistically you can run whatever you want. You want more cooldowns for more damage, you can do that as well. You've got a lot of flexibility in the components. I'll go through all of it in my build video tomorrow. So don't you worry, Bunkar Warrior Rabbit is ready for you guys. There's only 2 points left in her little thing, and either way, those 2 points are quite literally just gonna be wherever, whatever. You can take anything you like. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm probably just gonna go up here and just grab these 2 when I eventually get them. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I have 100% uptime on my everything, but it doesn't really matter. You can do and play whichever style you like, but this is the style that works best for me when speedrunning. Okay. There you go. All right. Where are we at now? The question is, should I finish Sigma Sector on Bunny? Nah. 2 more points doesn't really matter. I can chill on that. Okay, now back to where I was, however. Keelan, you, my dear friend, are going to go. And we are going to go run some Sigma Sector with you. I desperately need his stuff. Update tomorrow for the Bunny build, I just said. I'm updating my Bunny build tomorrow, yes. For Keelan, no. I will update his build at a later time. Listen, I don't blame you, Craig. It's not exactly the most fun activity now, is it?
To all personnel. Void storm is intensifying. Conditions are unfavorable. Proceed with caution. Over.
Descendant, we've confirmed a large-scale Vulgus transfer. Attack their deployment point.
You can't run away. With her. Shield's broken. I'll snuff it off. Too slow.
And keep in mind that Keelan gets reduced damage in Sigma Sector because much like Freyna, he has to deal with the so-called negative modifier against toxic. But yet, he can still somehow do it. It's kind of crazy.
Too slow. This is your end. Shields down. You can't run away. This is your end.
Descendant, the transport has dropped a wide-ranged shaping charge on the ground. We need it to purify the void energy. Prime the detonator with your RK, then hit the detonation device.
Already hitting, boss.
Move. Too slow. You can't run away. I'll kill you all. Crumbling. Too slow.
If the big boys don't want to die, I'll just kill them the old-fashioned way. Oh yeah, I do like the explosions. They look cool. Plus, like I said, he can rush.
Move. Reload. I'll kill you all. Shields down. Shields broken. Too slow. This is your end. Shields down. Crumbling. You can't run away.
To be honest, I just think his cooldowns need a bit of a reduction. That's all. He's supposed to be this highly mobile, you know, heavy strike artist, so give him that.
Too slow.
Let him lean into it.
My shield's down. Shield's down. I'll kill you all. Too slow. Move. Swapping bags.
Like I said, you got more control without it.
Extraction from operation zone initiated.
And you're not that much slower than a lot of other Descendants out there, so yeah. Keelan, to me, does fantastically well. And the best part is that I may be able to drop amplification control if I take this RK tuning stuff here for range, so there's that, but we'll see. Let me just remember, is there anything other than... Because there was also frugal mindset, which is kind of nice. But I don't remember anything else that could help me out. Anyway, onward we go. You can use anything that acts as a speed stick. So you can use Python with like 2 sprint speed cores. Basically, it's just going to be a speed stick. You do that so you can run faster, therefore speed running the content faster. Essentially, that's it. There's no special right or wrong answers, things like that. True, true. All Descendants, to an extent, are a pain to farm. You're not wrong about that.
This is how
But yeah,
to
if you're
action.
confused, just wait until I post an
Warning,
update for him,
concentrations of void energy
which it
within the
will happen at
operation
some
zone.
point.
All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
Reloading.
New supercharge received.
Ah, thank you. Just give me a second. I can't look at it just yet,
My shield's down.
but I will soon. Because unfortunately, it's not on my main screen.
Shield's down. Too slow. Shield's broken. This is your end. My shield's down. Reloading.
Check that. Aw, thank you, D-Russ. And no problem, man. Listen, you know, I know that you got some busy times, but that's okay. Thank you very much for joining in with us, even if it's for a little bit.
We're detecting
Thank you.
RK life signs inside of
I'm always
vaulted
grateful
structure.
for you helping to support the stream and, you know,
You can't run away.
keep me alive. Means a lot, man.
This is your end.
Let's just fly across the map. Screw this. Right?
Shield's broken. Damn it. My shield's down. Shield's down. Swapping mags.
I mean, I've never played Luna's mobbing build, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to think about that on your own.
Confirmed a large-scale Vulgus transfer.
I don't think I'll be able to give an effective comment until I actually play it. Maybe in future I will, but right now she's really not a priority for me. Hope you can understand.
Damn it. My shield's down. This is your end. Shield's down. Move. You can't run away. Damn it. My shield's down.
Passion Elias. Deploying arcade. I am the original.
Shield's down. Damn. Shield's down.
Either way, look, I know he's not an Esafrena, but hey, Keelan is by no means slow.
Crumbling. Loading.
Just a little bit of spray, a little bit of pray, and he's good.
Damn it. My shield's down.
Ally.
Mission complete.
Yeah,
Transport inbound.
he's pretty darn
See you
fast.
soon.
Maybe not the fastest, but pretty darn fast, I'd say. But he does need his cooldowns. Cooldown is such a big priority for Keelan, unfortunately. After that, if I could, I would also take move speed, but I don't know if he'd be able to fit both. I think I may not need his move speed so much. I'd rather just focus on these two. Should be enough. Should being the key word. Yep. With full RK, he goes even harder and goes even faster. That's the best part. Anyway, thank you again, D-Russ, for your lovely super chat. How much time do I have left on stream? Okay, I've got time enough for one more run. Let's go fast, people. Let's go fast. I do like his dash. It is a fun and effective mechanic. It's good stuff.
This is Hound Action, reporting extreme concentrations of void energy within the operation zone. All units, please proceed at your own discretion, but do not exceed your limits.
Too slow. Shield's down. Shield's broken. Move. Shield's down.
And Ines is not reduced to ashes,
Detected
Osama.
signs
Look,
of life
I'm
inside
not
the
too
nearby
happy with the
arcade
nerfs
receptor.
either, but fair is fair. Okay, she is still a faster farmer than Bunny. Check my video on Ines's nerf, I proved it there. Alright, she is literally faster than Bunny. Your choice whether to believe me or not, but yeah, Ines is not turned to ash, dude. That's a bit of an overreaction. Now, look, I get it. People aren't too happy. I know. But let's be fair. If we cannot be fair
Swapping mags.
and we never speak the truth, then we'll never get what we want. It always sucks when your favorite character is nerfed, but
With
making untrue statements is not gonna bring it back. She's indeed still strong.
Descendant, we've confirmed a large-scale Vulgus transfer. Attack their deployment point.
Well, yes, I proved it in my video. All you have to do is check the video. I posted it in Ness after the nerf. Those who didn't watch it, well, that's them problem. But I already stated all this. Well, it's literally the same build that I had before. I just changed one node on it. And I told everybody this. If they do that, if they make that one change, bada bing, bada boom, you're good.
I'll kill you all.
Exactly. So whose builds do you use? Use the robot build. If you're using some other back alley shyster's build, then, well, listen. Nothing else I can do to help you with that. But if you choose to use a proper build, like the ones I've got on my channel, I promise you, you'll see the results. Again, choice is yours at the end of the day. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer. Alright? I welcome people's beliefs, but please make sure you have all the facts first.
Damn it. This is your end. Shield's broken. Damn it.
Right? That being said, I do want to state clearly again, and this is for everybody, I am still against nerfs. I don't believe they should have a place here in this type of game. Because we're not playing a PvP game, and I think people need to remember that. Now, for me, it's just the terrain thing. Because the terrain thing is just unfair. Okay, every character, almost every character can literally shoot through walls, okay? And although some people say, oh, but this character cannot, that character cannot, like, look. Well, if the devs can take it away, the devs can put it back, right? So why can't the devs just make it so that they can smack through walls? What's the difficulty with that? There is no difficulty with that. And that's literally the whole entire issue. If the devs properly made it so that the character could shoot through walls like everybody else, I think there would be 0 people upset. But they are upset because at the end of the day, you know, they feel like they're not getting what they want. Okay. That brings us to the end of the stream, ladies and gents. Thank you very much. It's been a fantastic time. Tomorrow, I'll drop my updated bunny build and, you know, share it with all of you. Then you guys can have fun and enjoy that. And after that, tomorrow evening, we'll work on Keelan some more. You know, We'll have some fun leveling up his arcade tuning while suffering, and we'll chill. We'll talk, shoot the shit, as we always do. We'll have a good time, all right? But let's check in with the polls before we end. You know, the polls have remained fairly consistent throughout this entire exercise, and I'm genuinely very pleased with this. It's very interesting to see that about 54% of players, while it is not a clear majority, it is still the majority, they believe that they're playing more because of the buffs. They're experimenting with more characters, which is really, really nice. Then you've got about 23% of players who are playing less because of the nerf, which is also understandable. When your favorite gets taken away, it doesn't feel good. 15% are still having connection issues, which I hope the devs resolve soon because that was a big deal and that is a big problem. And about 6% have, you know, quit because of this. So I'm sorry to those 6%, but I hope they'll feel better soon. All right, thank you all very much. Hope you guys have had a good time. We'll be ending here. All right, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Monster Hunter in the morning, TFD in the evening, and more music coming. If you guys are not supporting my music yet, all right, I'm on all major music platforms like Apple Music, Spotify. Only my first EP is there, but my next one should be coming soon. In the meantime, you can get daily releases on my YouTube music channel as well as on SoundCloud. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.